What's going on, people? Welcome to Throwdown Your Questions, episode 280. I'm your host, Tony Polanco, and I'm joined by Chris Seeley.
Hey, what's up, everyone?
Carlos Romero.
Yo, yo, yo.
And Brian Manjoma.
What up, guys? What up?
All right, we're missing a couple people. Manny is still sick. If you guys didn't know, he was back on Thursday, but he has sick. From what he told me, sounds like he got the Rona. To be honest, man, coming into NYC, so he's still a bit under weather, but he's probably gonna be, checking in on us in the chat room there. And Brett he'll show up when he shows up. Like I was telling you guys before, he's like a cat, comes and goes as he pleases. It's just how it is, man. So before we start, if any of you guys have any extra questions for us tonight, throw them in there, And Goose, we got 3 of your questions, bro. We'll see how many we get to tonight. But damn, it's like that, Goose. He says, Brett, don't show up. Fuck. Yo, Brett got a lot of you heated on that last episode, though, man.
Man.
They didn't
be rubbing people the wrong way.
Yeah, they didn't like what he had to say about the PlayStations, man. That shit is crazy. Also, I hope you guys enjoy my bearded goodness. I'm fucking stuck at home with like everybody else. The fuck do I need to shave for,
Yo, man. Keep it going, man.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Like it's been like a month. It's already like this and shit. We'll see what happens. And you guys see the. I mean, it doesn't show up too well here, but it's like red. Like I guess Dominicans, just like most Hispanics, were fucking mutts. So I have like body hair color. Every body hair color I have on my body. It's just like that. It's just weird shit. Goose says Brett has been playing the heel very well. He definitely has some heat on him. Good heat though. Yeah, hey, listen, man. That's what you like about Brett, because he's the only one.
Am I the only one?
Am I the only one? My man in Colorado.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, bro. Yeah, I got everything, man. All the colors.
Yo, Goose. So if Brett is a heel, then who's the face?
Well, that's a joke that went over my head, I think.
Because it's a wrestling term. Like a heel is someone that's like the bad guy.
Like, is face a wrestling term too?
Yeah, that's like the good guy.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. And then you have like tweeners and stuff, like people who are delve into both.
Yeah. He says Emilio is the baby face. Baby face for short. It was going on, Miss Razor. Yo, who's in the chat right now, man? I'm fluffing up time a little bit. Whatever.
Yo, man, who's in the chat?
All right. We got another TV viewer. I don't know if that's a real person or a bot. We got Archangel 48. I like that name. A 10 or A10. C. Iverson, my man right there.
Yo.
Eurocard 9. You already know.
Excuse me.
Goose 7.
Number 1.
Paiku Han, my man. Splurge 909. And Streamlabs. That's just Streamlabs.
Eurocard 9. No stranger to danger.
Yo, by the way, I'm seriously thinking about getting the Platinum God of War, man.
Oh,
Brian.
Do it.
Yeah, because the thing, and the reason I'm bringing this up because C. Iverson, that's for you guys who don't know, that's actually my oldest nephew. He's the one that's going to make it possible, or made it possible for me to get it, because when he came over last year, he defeated all the Valkyries for me. I had 5 left. He defeated all of them. He did all the Muspelheim shit. So I'm like, the only things I really need to do is just the collectibles. I got to get all the artifacts, which I have most of them. Get all the Ravens, which I also have most of them. There's 2 armor pieces I need. It's called Primordial. That's I don't know what the fuck. Primordial, and there's another one I need. And then I also have to do
Is it the Ancient? I think it is.
Yeah, Ancient. That's one of them. And another one was Traveler. Though I need to get those 2, right? And I also
that's like super simple. Like you just craft them. Like,
I probably have the materials, bro. you know.
If you're end game, then you have it. So just craft them.
Yeah. Oh, Goose, you said go for it. Almost everyone and their brother has. You know which one that is? The platinum everybody has? Spider-Man. You could sleep and get that plat.
Shit, I even have that one. I don't even get plats.
I remember this, if you guys don't mind, I'm going to flex a little bit, you know what I'm saying?
Oh.
Okay, because I got Spider-Man early, from Sony and shit. I was very proud of myself that I got the platinum before anybody else did. That shit was crazy. Like, I got the platinum like a day before, like, the embargo lifted and shit, so that was kind of cool. But yeah, because C. Iverson, I'm going to get that. I'm thinking about, I should get that shit. The only one, just like we talked about before, I gotta grind through that miss shit. That's the only thing I don't want to do, man. But gotta do it. What's going on, Solitary Zombie? She's in there holding it down, making sure you motherfuckers stay in line.
Yeah, Tony. The miss stuff is not that bad. Like if you're at endgame stuff, then you'll find it not too difficult.
It's not. No, Brian. That's the problem. It's not difficult. It's tedious. That's the problem.
Well, yes, it is. But as long as you get like there's like a talisman, and then there's like a handle, like axe grip or something that like slows it down. So as long as you get those two things, then you'll be fine.
Yeah.
I just cheesed through it. I just went through and said, cool, everything I'll put in cooldown, and then that way I just come back a new zone, I use all my powers, and then just kill people.
Yeah, it's just tedious, just farming for that shit. But yeah, that's my thing. It's like, it's not that it's difficult. It's just like, oh, here we go. I have to just keep going and going and going until I accumulate enough.
I have a question.
Uh-oh. This
is kind of related, but not related. But it's about platinums.
Okay.
So is the Final Fantasy VII remake platinum easy?
No.
Because I've been seeing a lot of people on my timeline getting. I'm like, what, already?
Yeah, no, I've seen it too. Here's the thing. If it wasn't for the difficulty trophy, I would say it is. The thing is, okay, so you have to beat the game on hard mode, and it's not like like a normal hard mode where it's just like enemies hit harder. They do that, but on top, what makes hard mode, I want to say difficult. What makes it tricky is that you can't use any items whatsoever. No items at all.
Oh,
yeah, right.
Oh shit!
Damn, that's. I mean, I played like maybe 5-6 hours of the game. Yeah, you need friggin' items, man.
Yo, I said this Final Fantasy VII remake. That is probably the hardest Final Fantasy game I played. I've used more Phoenix Downs in this game than I have in every single Final Fantasy game I played combined. Like fuck. So,
yo,
yeah.
Tell me why. Like I barely start the game. I already have like 15 potions. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, this game's preparing me for something, man.
Yeah, man. By the way, but during like my last hour of the game, that's when I was like, oh shit, Tony, you should probably block, bro. Because I never blocked. I just dodge, but dodging doesn't work all the time. And then when I started using a block, I'm like, damn, block is like 95% more effective than dodging. My natural inclination is to dodge. I do that in every action game. This one, dodging is good for some shit. Don't get me wrong, but blocking definitely helps you out. But so yeah, no items, and then the best part is on top of that, those benches that refill your energy.
Yeah,
they refill your HP. They do not refill your MP.
What? I thought they did.
No, not in hard mode. Not in hard mode.
Oh, man,
Carlos, no items, no MP recovery, and with benches. So you need to have your materia game on like the fullest, because there is shit that you could get to replenish your MP, but it all has to be within the match itself.
Man, yeah, like cures.
Mm-hmm.
Cure spells.
Yeah, cure spells, but you got to be careful with cure spells. That takes up MP.
That takes up mad MP.
It's worth getting the game. Oh hell yeah! Buy that fucking game. That game is amazing. I'm gonna say
it's actually really good.
Game of the year.
Uh-oh.
And the way 2020 is going, I think that's probably just a default now. Oh man. Oh, what about The Last of Us 2, Tony? Nah, son, there ain't no Final Fantasy. They got dragons and shit.
Might not even come out, man.
Carlos, man, watch it.
No, well, I mean, they want the best experience for everyone, so they're gonna wait to release it till people can go to GameStop.
Yeah, can I summon Bahamut? I don't know if I want to answer that. That might be a spoiler, sir.
Yo, man, the game. It's so like, I'm surprised at how well this game is. Like how good it is. It's like, maybe I'm just, it's like the whole first couple of hours, because I've only played like 5 hours of the game, and everything is just paced so good. It's like I'm playing enough. Okay, story, getting in a cutscene. I don't know. I guess maybe I'm just like too into the story where I like getting into cutscenes, and there's more frequent maybe in the beginning.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, I've noticed.
Also,
yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that's one of the frequent things I've heard from a lot of people, myself included. I was like, this shit is way better than I expected. I was talking
Yeah.
to my boy Tim, Chris. Tim, that's your friend too.
Yeah.
And he was hating on this game for 5 years, hating on it. When I was talking to him on Saturday, he's like, oh my god, I can't believe I love this game so much.
Yeah.
Like his whole world. My other boy Gabe, same thing. He was like, fuck this shit. We don't need this fucking game. He plays like, yo, this is fucking amazing. It's changing. But me, I wasn't hostile to it. I just didn't care one way or the other. Then when I played a demo, I'm like, yo, this is fucking legit right now, man.
Yo, man, that's gonna be you in like 2 years when Resident Evil 4 comes out, dude.
Bro, could you imagine that shit? Yeah, that's the thing, though. It's like I'm over here hating on Resident Evil 4. I'm gonna be one of the first motherfuckers playing that shit.
Oh man,
you already know. Me and Chris, man, we're gonna be there day one.
Yeah.
By the way, talking about blocking,
yeah.
You know what's weird about that game? If you try to block, but you already got to hit once, those motherfuckers will combo you until they finish.
It. Yeah, you got to get that first block in because if you try afterwards,
yeah,
that's it. Once those combos are in, they're in. Miss Racer says he's going to buy Final Fantasy VII in a minute. Awesome, do it, man.
Do it, man. It's really good.
Before we start the show, Final Fantasy VII had like some of the best digital sales of any Final Fantasy like this month or something or any PSN game. Gee, I wonder why. I wonder why. It's two things. Not only have people been anticipating it, but since they can't go out, they bought it digitally. Geez, I wonder why The Last of Us couldn't do that. Just saying. I know you gotta satisfy your retail partners and all that, but satisfy them later when you have physical copies, man. It's fucking. We're not gonna get into that. Anyway, we got your questions, so let us answer them, man. First up, and I actually ordered these in a specific way, so we get because all these first couple questions are all about next gen, man. So first up, we got Otaku Man 5000, Mr. Andre Tipton asking us a question. So his first or only question is, honestly, do you truly expect Microsoft and Sony to deliver the launch titles to make people want to pick up the new consoles?
That's a tough one. Because, Last of Us 2 is not setting a good precedent. Seriously, like, what? We don't even know when that game's coming out. Like, they didn't even push it a few months. They just said, it's delayed indefinitely. What am I supposed to think coming out? Like, Sony's been so tight-lipped. We just have speculation on top of speculation. All we know is that Mark Cerny wants to look at your ears. That's about it.
Yes. That's all we know. Yeah.
Oh, we know what the controller looks like.
and like the logo. And like I said, when I shocked the world when I said I'm not going to get the PlayStation 5 at launch, the reason for that is like all the good games on PS5 are going to be on PS4. So that's what I'm saying. Like, okay, PS5 could technically have a good launch, right? Because it has a lot of good games on it. But if a lot of those games are already on PS4, does that really count? You know what I'm saying? Like, what do we constitute as a launch lineup? Just the games that are on there or the exclusives that are there? Because if we're looking for exclusives, I think there's only going to be a handful.
They're like those PS4 games are technically a part of the launch lineup, but man, they don't get any credit, man. They have to be those made for PS5 games. Those are the ones that count. Those are the ones that get you to buy the game, the console.
But let's be real, though. How many of those are we actually going to see at launch, man? There's going to be some, I'm sure, but I don't think they're going to be bangers. Maybe I'm just being too fucking cynical right now, but I don't really see. Think about it like this. Those games would have already been announced. We would have known about them already. I think all the big bangers are going to be also available on PS4, and it makes sense, right? Because PS4 has 100 million, or whatever it is, users versus PS5, which is going to have at best 5 million, because that's all they're manufacturing,
Yeah.
And by the way, 5 million they said for the first, fiscal year. It's not going to be 5 million at launch. It's going to be even less than that. So, So think about it. It's like, why would you put an exclusive game that's only on PS5 on a system that is you can't even manufacture enough of? It doesn't make any sense. So I don't really expect any gigantic AAA fucking exclusive for the PS5 that you can't already get on PS4. So I don't know. I'm gonna say no. Same thing with Microsoft. Okay, let's finish up Sony. We go to Microsoft. What about the rest of you guys? You think Sony's gonna have anything like insane for the launch lineup for the PS5 that isn't going to be available on PS4?
Godfall. I think.
I guess, but
I don't know. But yeah, who knows about that game?
You know, again, I'm being cynical as fuck right now, but it's like, it just looks like another fucking one of these, like, you know, hero shooters or whatever the fuck it is. I don't know. Like Destiny meets Overwatch or something, you know?
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing exciting about that shit.
Is Elden Ring cross-gen, or is it exclusive?
I don't know, man. I doubt that's coming this fucking fall, you know?
Oh, yeah. You're right.
Yeah, but I mean, like you mentioned, Tony. I think like if we were to hear some games that were gonna come out on launch, I think we might have heard about them.
We would have heard about them. We would have heard about them.
So my answer is no. I don't think so.
Yeah, I agree.
For Sony.
Yeah, no for Sony. Brian, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. Like, we would have heard something by now, so I think it's a no.
Yeah. All right. Before we move on to Microsoft, let me read some of these comments, man.
Give me your comments. Comic-Con.
Goose says Horizon Zero Dawn 2. That shit ain't coming. Don't fucking.
Nah, that's not coming out. This year's
no way, bro. He says Horizon Zero Dawn came out at the end of February 2017. By the time 2020 launches, it would have been 3+5 years since that game launched. This time, GG has the engine and it isn't starting from scratch, but with no storyline. But again, this goes back to what we're saying. If Horizon Zero Dawn 2 was coming, we would have heard about it already.
But isn't Horizon Zero Dawn and Killzone Shadowfall the same engine?
Yes, it is the Decima engine. They didn't call it. They didn't call it the Decima engine when Killzone came out, but it was a Decima engine. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's. I mean, that was what 4. No, actually, it was 2013.
It was a launch game. It was a launch game. Yeah.
Yes, 3.5 years. So yeah, that doesn't. That does seem like the timeline, you know, from 2017 till this fall, it'll be 3.5 years. But
I don't disagree with that. Like you know, we've talked about this on the show. It typically takes about 4 to 5 years, right, to make a really good game. But we would have heard this already. They would have announced it, or a leak would have happened. We haven't heard shit about Horizon Zero Dawn 2. Correct me if I'm wrong in that, but I haven't heard nothing. You know, like a game like that. A game like that, we would have heard something about. Trust me on that.
It would be a friggin' megaton, but I doubt it, man. We would have heard something.
Yo, if they announced that shit, that was salvage 2020, man. Shit. Who asked that? Yeah, dude. You should know me too. Just add it right here in on Twitch, and we'll add it. Go ahead, man. Yeah, and that goes for the rest of you guys too. If you guys have any questions, leave them here, man.
Leave them. In the
shit!
chat.
Is that? Damien, what's going on, brother?
Yo, man.
Didn't Horizon Zero Dawn take 10 years? I don't believe so.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, but that goes back to what we were saying. They want the big user base. So don't expect the PlayStation 5.
Yo, Damien. Yo,
Golden Crust. Yo, by the way.
Oh, what? Uh-oh.
Yeah. By the way, just keep in mind, Damien is not Jamaican. He's from the Virgin Islands, man. Shout out to the Virgin Islands, too. It's just, all those accents kind of sound the same to me,
Yo, man, shout out to the U.S. Virgin Islands. I don't know about the British ones, though, dude.
Yeah.
Yo, but Damien, yo, man.
Yeah.
Yo, man. We're shitting on Sony right now.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, you missed it, man. Chris, your other half is from where you with the Trinidad, right?
Oh, my father?
Yeah.
Barbados.
Barbados, yeah. Again, all that shit sounds the same to me. When I hear them talk like Jamaica, all that shit, like they all sound like this, man.
Yeah.
Isn't that where Rihanna's from?
Is she? I have no idea.
She's like from Barbados or one of those places. Yo, by the way, a wild bread arrives.
Oh shit, Brett, what's going on, brother?
Snuck in like a ninja.
Yeah. Oh, perfect. We could ask you this before we move on to the second part. Do you think Sony is going to have any launch games worth getting when PlayStation 5 drops? We all said no, by the way, so I want to hear your take.
My answer would be no.
Yeah, it ain't happening.
No, that's
no. Oh, by the way,
just no, but just no. Nope.
Yeah, no, we all said it ain't happening. Mostly because like the PlayStation 5 install base is going to be so small. They're going to put all the good games you're going to get on PS5. They're going to be available on PS4 just because that has a bigger install base.
Yeah, I'd like to actually see the numbers Chris, you're the numbers guy. Do you know how many studios Sony owns?
Oh,
Well, I'm pretty sure somebody in the chat could say that. Oh, by the way,
Yeah,
Damien,
I don't know.
I'm aware that all you guys sound different. Obviously, you sound different, but I'm talking about to my untrained ears, it all sounds the same. It's just how it is.
Oh, David's here.
you know?
Did David catch last week's episode?
Oh yeah, Damien, did you enjoy last episode? Because by the way, Brett, man, people were not happy with you, boy.
Oh, I fully expect that shit. Whatever.
Damien, he was probably
No,
chilling.
everybody's always mad at what I bet.
Yeah,
No, Damien said Brett's his hero.
he said Brett's his hero. So yeah, there you go. man.
according to this list, is 14.
14.
14. Okay. And we know Microsoft just got 16.
Yeah.
So I don't. They're going to be AA games. I'm going to expect Microsoft's going to have a bigger lineup, but it's going to be more watered down because not all these guys are going to be hits, but they're going to push them out. So you're going to see some failed experiments just hobbling across. Then again, what was knack? So I think Microsoft's going to have more games. I don't know if they're going to be better games, and that's the big question on the field in my mind, at least, because more studios means more games. I feel like that's a pretty fair, logical jump, right?
Yeah. By the way, according to Damien, he says Sony closed down 2 studios, so they would have had 16 themselves.
Oh, and well, see,
When did
Very
they close
interesting.
recently?
And he says one of the studios was a VR studio. But yeah, since Brett, since you brought up the other second half of the equation is, will the Xbox Series X have any games worth getting at launch?
I think maybe a couple. I don't think, at least firstly, my theory is Microsoft gave up this generation. I firmly believe that.
Oh yeah.
So they're less likely to release something on a current gen console and then re-release it on a next gen console, where I feel like they're more likely to just hold it until the next gen console. So you may see some games designed. I know they're not going to be truly exclusive because they're going to be across current gen systems too, right?
Yeah, for the first 2 years, every Microsoft game is going to be on everything. Xboxes, PC, and when they get Project X Cloud running, on your tablets or whatever.
So I could see a lot of Microsoft exclusives instead. Like the difference being Sony would right now release a game and then release the PS5 and then sell us that game again on the PS5, a la Black Flag. Microsoft doesn't have a really big install base. They could benefit way more from the punch. So they have more reason to sit back and not release that game right now, but instead release it with the new Xbox to give the optics of having more games. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, I guess. Like, I know Microsoft. Here's the thing. I'm going to say this. Actually, it goes back to what I'm saying because it's going to be available on Xbox One as well. I was going to say, actually, I got a good question for you guys now. This is going to be an interesting one.
Is it going to be controversial?
Not really. It'll just be one that people may not have thought of, which is kind of interesting. PlayStation, they're going to have, barring any bullshit, they're going to have The Last of Us 2 on PlayStation 5, right? We could safely say that's going to be its biggest game, right?
I don't know.
But yes.
Well, I'm not talking about in terms of I'm talking about recognizability and all that,
Well, no. You guys, you have to assume, I may even get a benefit out here, you have to assume Sony has something up its sleeve. At least one thing.
Yeah, The Last of Us 2. That's what they have.
Yeah, I
Let's
think.
just
I
be
mean,
real here.
I
Let's
think
just
that's
be
why
real
they're
here.
even delaying it. Is because it's like
That's their big deal, man.
if you've released The Last of Us 2 near the time or at the same time as a PS5 launch, even though everyone agrees this is probably going to be a cross-gen title, it'll help boost sales for PS5 because you'll get to promote The Last of Us 2 PS5 PlayStation.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah,
So that's a lot of
and
cross-promotion.
Brett, like we said, if there was a bigger game coming out, we would have heard about it by now. Last of Us 2, the way they're treating this game, I think that is their big ticket game for the year.
Yeah,
Brett,
but
you
you
also-
they have a couple.
Real quick, Brett, and also remember, you're the one that mentioned the whole Fallout 4 scenario. That really hasn't happened other than Fallout 4
That's
for
the
the
only
most
time
part.
that's happened.
Oh no, I'm not saying that it's not gonna be Last of Us. I fully believe that, but like usually Sony comes out with a couple of like, Sony usually comes to launch with a handful of titles, a couple of which are actually good. Like so you start with like 5 to 7 games, 2 of which are actually pretty decent, and that's kind of their launch lineup, and it stays that way for like 2 goddamn years. So there's usually a couple gems in or around release window, right?
Yeah. I mean, last gen, not really. We had Killzone and Neck, they were bullshit,
Yeah, but then we had Bloodborne come out of nowhere.
2 years later.
Was that 2 years?
Yes.
That was 2015.
Yeah.
I thought, man, I swear they... Was it really 2 years?
No, it was more like a year and a half, but yeah, a year and a half later after launch.
I thought they were teasing that shit from the beginning of the console.
I believe they were. Correct. You guys were in the.
I feel like at the very end of the team, like, because I was really pissed because they showed, they showed Dak, they showed everything else, they showed literally every other game. At the very end, they showed a little bit of Bloodborne.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you can tell it's the redheaded stepchild because they didn't want to show it in the video montage, and then that ended up being the only successful game near the launch window.
Or remember, but it wasn't the launch window. It came out 2015, like early.
Yeah, so I'm not arguing with you. I'm terrible at time. So.
Yeah,
It was so Bloodborne was released a year and a half after the release of the console.
Yeah.
But it was announced E3 2014. Which
okay.
is the E3 after the release of the PlayStation 4.
Gotcha. Thank you for the facts with that. So anyway, but so just so we could keep the conversation moving, we could safely say The Last of Us 2. That's going to be the big Sony game, right?
The biggest one, yeah. I'm
yeah.
assuming that.
Okay.
Do you think they're going to have a second one, or do you think that's
I don't think
literally
so.
just it?
Here's
my God.
It depends, Brett, how well Ghost of Tsushima does. That's we don't know how big that's going to be. It could turn out to be huge. It could flop. Who knows?
Shit, we don't know if it's going to get delayed.
Is that going to get basically? So basically, what's going to happen is they're going to delay all their games so that they can claim their or use false advertising to make it seem like their launch games.
Well, Ghost of Tsushima has not been delayed yet, but it's going to be a launch title just because of the fact that it's going to be able to run on PlayStation 5. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but because its release date kind of ended up coinciding with the release of the next console, like
there's a couple months. Ghost of Tsushima is coming out in July, I believe. Guys in the chat could correct me, or June. It was June 26th.
Okay, so let me ask you this:
Yeah,
is Ghost of Tsushima a PS4 game that's being ported to the PS5, or is it a PS5 game / cross-gen game?
I think it's a PS4 game. I think it's a PS4 game. It's going to be shiny on PS5.
That's my point.
But
like,
Brett, so is The Last of Us 2, bro.
Both of Sony's big hitters are just delayed and or shined up versions of end of last gen games. That's depressing. So if the question is, who is Sony going to have a good lineup? Like, God no, they're not. It's practically non-existent. And so then the question of, is Microsoft going to have a better launch lineup? Yes, is not controversial when you compare it to pretty much nothing.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Microsoft, in with those same parameters, has nothing too, because all their games are just current gen games that are going to be pretty for the next console. It's the same deal. That's the same deal. And the reason I bring that up is because, okay, again, they're basically the same. Brett, do you agree with that?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so anyway, this is the point I'm trying to make. So you got The Last of Us 2. That's the main game. That's gonna be for Sony's platforms. On the other hand, what's gonna be Microsoft's biggest game? Halo Infinite.
Halo.
So you got Halo Infinite versus The Last of Us 2. Which one of those is gonna have the bigger impact? That's what it really
Halo Infinite. There's gonna be another Gears. There's going to be another Forza.
Well, we don't know if those are coming out for the launch. We don't know if those are coming out for launch. We just
no. But when you're buying,
yeah.
I'm sorry. I was thinking more along the lines of when you're buying the console, you know that there's these key games that are coming to it.
Oh yeah, for sure. We're just talking about specifically because the question is specifically about the launch.
I'm just. You're right. I veered off track there. I'm just surprised that. I guess I assumed that. Like a dumb optimist, somebody's got to have something. You can't launch a new generation like this. Like, this is the most pathetic generation launch I've ever seen. I've been a gamer for. Do I want to see? Yeah, I've been a gamer for 33 years, and this is the most pathetic release of a console I have ever seen. Like it's barely there. There's barely news. There's barely rumblings. There's nothing to really look forward to on
Brett.
either side. Yo,
I mean, you don't have to look far enough to see the most pathetic, because you just have to look at this generation. This generation was pathetic too.
I know. I'm distraught. I was hoping that we would kind of, like an idiot, go into a better direction and kind of correct some of our mistakes.
No.
But instead, it just seems to be like so. But now it's almost become a parody of itself. Like, cool. So what are the new games this generation? Oh, bro, there are none. Well, what do you mean? What do you mean? What are the launch games for this system? Oh, there are none. Like, okay. Well, are they just all delayed? When are they coming out? 2 years. Wait. See, you're telling me this game isn't getting any true exclusives? It's just getting shined up versions of last generation games for 2 years, and it doesn't have any games that are its own? Yeah. Fuck you then.
Welcome to the new world, man. That's how it is. Cross-gen gaming is here, man. I want to read some of the comments here because Nate says you haven't seen anything and it's over 6 months out. You don't, who's this other comment? They said you don't believe Sony's gonna have a surprise. No, I don't think so.
Well, no, that's what I was saying.
Yeah,
I felt like Sony's got to have something up their sleeves, right? Like they've just got to.
No, they don't.
Yeah, I'd like to think that they do, but I'm starting to doubt that because, like, honestly, I've been expecting Sony to do better this whole fucking time. There's only so many times you can be disappointed until you're just like, well, I'm just gonna stop believing in this. I'm getting more hesitant to say Sony has this. And you can actually, it's funny, you can go back and listen through the podcast as I've gotten more and more angry at Sony as a company. It's been a slow, gradual slope for what, the last year?
Yeah, pretty much.
Like I love Sony, but just, man, they're just acting weird. And this is just, again, to just throw this out there and be like, look, it's going to be $550. It's not going to do anything new, and you're going to fucking like it. What? Aren't you supposed to give me a sale? This feels like how fucking Time Warner Cable pitches to me because they know they've got a monopoly. Right? Like, this is not asking for my business. This is knowing you have me locked in and not giving a fuck. And that's not the kind of business I like to support. But you know that you got my hands tied, so you don't give a fuck. This is the dystopian future. I guess I don't have a point just other than we've arrived at the dystopian future, people. Fuck this noise. Fuck this console generation.
Yeah, all right, man. Let's move on to Damien. So his first question is, in a recent interview with IGN, Phil Spencer said he is willing to take a loss in the short term. What if Microsoft can match Sony in terms of cost next generation? What impact do you think that can have on who sells the most consoles? It goes back to what I always said. The cheaper console will be the one that sells the most. If Xbox Series X can cost less than PlayStation 5, that's going to be the first winner out the gate.
Dude, they just match prices.
Yeah, but that's the thing, Damien. I want to know, part of the question is, if they match price, that means it's going to cost exactly the same, right?
Yeah.
But the way he framed it, it's like, will they beat them if they match the price? But like, if you match the price, you can't beat them. You know what I'm saying, Damien?
That's what he's saying.
Yeah.
Honestly, I really need to do this being on the podcast. I haven't down and compared side-by-side analysis on the specs for both systems, and I don't think we have the full PlayStation specs still, do we?
Do we? I don't.
We have most of them, and we did go over them when Mark Cerny gave us the TED Talk.
Yeah,
Chris broke it down for the most part.
Don't insult TED Talks like that, man.
Chris, can you give me the quick and dirty on that? Are they relatively equivalent?
I mean, relatively. The major thing that PS5 has over the Series X is the bus speeds for the SSD. So their SSD can pipe data way faster than anything on the market right now. They're basically beyond the PCIe 4 spec, which has like a couple of I think drives. I think Brian told us there was a couple of drives available, but that bus isn't widely available yet, so they can't put it in a Series X. So that's where The real
PS4.
advantage is
PS5.
this PS5 has the advantage
Okay.
on those speeds, but other than that, I mean, it's the same RAM type. I mean, unless there's design differences that Sony didn't go into with how. I mean, I know Microsoft is soldering the RAM on the board, so they're solving kind of bus problems. Like everything is as optimized as you can get it on both systems. Otherwise, so
Does Microsoft have any higher numbers than PlayStation? Like, is
yeah,
there any?
the
Oh, yes, they
graphics
do.
they had a hard teraflop calculations with their GPU. So
Like almost 2 teraflops
Okay.
greater than.
yeah,
So yeah, if they can show a marketable number that proves that they're quote unquote more powerful and match Sony's price
Mhm.
and deliver more games on launch, yes, that is a well formulated attack on Sony. And if Sony does not have something out there to respond in kind, the market will fluctuate. It's
Yeah.
flip flopped almost
Well, yeah,
almost
Sony-
just about every generation.
Yeah, it seems to me like, again, I'm saying this as not being super tech savvy like some of you guys, but basically it seems like Sony has, the speed and Microsoft has the power, right? Like, at least,
Yeah.
Marginally or whatever on both ends. So which one of those is going to be more important? And by the way, Dabian did mean like if they were equal price or whatever, which, I think we all agree on a podcast, they're about $500 for both consoles,
yeah.
right?
If they're at equal price, like Brett said, like Microsoft has the easiest thing to throw out there for the marketing. Our GPU has more compute units and it's at 13 point whatever teraflops. We outdo. We're 20% faster than PS5. Bam. What's Mark Cerny going to do? Give a TED talk to counter it? Well, our SSD and 3D audio.
They're gonna talk about Sony's blast processing, man.
Yo, man. But yeah, that's pretty much. I mean, so what was the question? I
Yeah,
kinda
no.
confused, I guess.
Basically, if both systems, now that I understand the question better, so if both systems are the same and all that, in terms of price, who's going to sell the most?
Not who can sell the most. Will it affect the market?
Yeah, will it affect the market? Yeah,
Because that's a big different thing. Sell the most means that you have to completely overturn it. Affect the market means that Microsoft has to stop taking such a giant L and recapture some of the market. They're like, what? I give them generously between 16 and 20% of the market right now. That's a number that sucks, but that's just, and it's off the top of my head. But I would guess it's in the lower range like that. If they could get up to in the mid 30s, high 40s, that'd be way better. We'd have a real competition on our hands again.
And it also depends on how their marketing strategy is going to be. Are they going to go full, business as usual? We're promoting a console, Microsoft, or is there, because they've been hedging their bets with Game Pass and on PC, and it's like, are they going to focus a lot of their promotion on that as well, or because it's just hard to see where Microsoft is. I mean, so far they've shown that they're a full go with the Series X, but in terms of the marketing, it'd just be interesting to see what they'll do.
I still don't understand how they make money on that. Like, they give you brand new games on like their rental service or the subscription services. It kind of baffles me, to be honest.
Yeah. Damien says
I don't trust
Xbox has 21% market share.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, if they could bump that up to 30 to 40%, I mean, keep in mind, Nintendo's in here too, so it's not a 50-50 deal. So if they can capture 30, 35, 40%, like they would be pretty close to neck and neck with Sony.
Wow. I didn't know it was that low. That's like on the fringe of being like irrelevant,
Yeah, dude, that's been my whole I'm glad you mentioned that. That's been my whole point for weeks and or months now. I'm not saying, and I'm sorry, Damien, I'm not saying Microsoft's going to come out punching heavy. I'm saying that they're damn near out of the gate. They're going to do. I think they're going to do better. They're going to improve. They're going to recapture some of their market share. I don't know how much that is though.
You'll have to see about that.
It's an uphill battle. It'd be really, to think that they're going to sell, that they would sell more, I think is kind of unrealistic. Now, as the generation goes on, as we saw with PS3, that can kind of flip years down the road. So it could be playing a long game kind of thing. But I don't know. But I think that they're going to do better than they had. They have to do better than this. I mean, let's all be honest. This was a failed conception from the get-go. This was a machine designed to work with the Kinect. Half of its design function was built around the Kinect, and then they abandoned the Kinect. So it was a machine that was doing something that was only half intended to do and being pushed to its limits doing it. It was never going to be a super successful cloud. They were fucked out of the gate, and there was no way to step back. There was no way to undo that. What are you going to re-release a half-generation console?
No, it's like they had everything going against it. It's like the whole unveiling. It was a whole TV, sports. It looked like a freaking VCR player. It was $100 more expensive than the PS4, and it focused on Kinect. You know, no one liked Don Matrick, and it's like it had everything not going for it. So obviously, it was not gonna. You know, they can't possibly mess this up this much for the Series X. At least I hope. I mean, they haven't so far. So just keep it going.
Yeah, and then the other thing, I was thinking about this the other day after seeing some Twitter conversation about like the best Xbox One games. I'm gonna piss off some people right now, but it's the truth. The best Xbox One games are kind of mediocre.
Well,
All right, let's settle down with that. Let's settle down with
Let's
that.
just be real.
Okay, whoa. Okay, let's break that down.
Let's just be real hard. Like the only ones, let me finish. The only ones I could think of that are like actually excellent, the Ori games and Cuphead.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that,
that's
okay. Let's break this down though, because I think we should go down to Adam needs to be here for this. I am the Lorax. I will speak for the Adam today. Okay. Gears is a solid franchise with a solid fan base. Whether or not it's your jam, it takes talented people to make that game, and it has a cult following. Halo is.
Wait, are you gonna tell Brett? Have you played Gears of War 4?
No, I haven't.
Okay, that's my point. Gears of War 4, a good game, wasn't great compared to Gears of War 1 and 2 and 3. Those games were fucking amazing games, but 4, kind of meh.
Yeah, 4 was a really solid game. But it didn't really like push any boundaries. It didn't really get a lot of the fan base from the 360 days to come back. And I guess Brett is like one of those key points where it's like, I'm pretty sure you played at least some of the Gears back in the 360 days, but didn't get to this one.
Yeah.
And 5 is just even Gears of War 4 plus.
Yeah, 5. I know some people liked it, but again. And then, move on to the other one. The big one, Halo 5 did not do what it was supposed to do, man.
Halo's all over the place, but, and I hate to skip over that, Forza is one of the most
let's go with Forza.
Definitive racing game. Yeah. Like you can't dethrone Forza. You can't beat Forza. If you're a racing game fan, it's Forza.
Yeah, but that's also another my own point. And again, I'm going to piss some people off, but whatever. If your best franchise of your entire console is a racing game, I don't know, man. Yeah, that's all I'm saying. It's like, really? That's supposed to get people hooked? What does Sony have this generation? Right? We got God of War, got Spider-Man, right? We got Bloodborne. These are classic games out the gate. So but the point I'm trying to make is like, not only did Microsoft have all these stumbles, they don't have any games, and even the Ori games, man, they're fucking amazing, but they didn't really do anything.
I agree. They don't have a lot of big wins.
Sunset Overdrive, I love Sunset Overdrive. I love Sunset Overdrive. I love Quantum Break. These games are dope, but they didn't do nothing. Recore is bullshit. Come on, Carlos, get the fuck out of here. But Quantum Break and Sunset Overdrive, I have a special place in my heart for that game. The game didn't do nothing. Microsoft's best games did not do anything this generation. So that's the thing. It's like, sorry, Brett. It's just like, okay, so you have a console that was just marketed badly, that was gimped, when you took out its main feature, the Kinect, and you have games that were just like, what do you expect? What do you expect? I hope they turn things around, but yeah, all those factors, man, that's why Xbox One didn't do well. Let's just be real. That's why it only has 21% versus Sony's over 50% in the market share.
I fucking love Cuphead, man.
Cuphead was the shit. But even that game, man, didn't really bust numbers like that,
Yeah, a lot of people didn't play it.
Yeah.
Well, I think a big thing with
including
that is,
you, Brett. I'm so disappointed.
Oh
Keep
man.
that as soon as I got healed up, motherfucker.
Yeah, it played on Switch.
Here's the thing that I have noticed that I have to give. Sony's hit games and all their big exclusives, they tend to follow a certain kind of pattern, being that they're exactly the same game most of the time. Microsoft, come on, the over the shoulder third person, like it the Horizon and Spider-Man and God
I
of
forgot
War.
about Horizon, another banger. You know.
Yeah. But they could almost all be mods of just about the same game. They show the bones of the engine quite a bit. I realize that they're different stories. I realize that they have different art assets on it.
And different engines too.
I can't help but feel. I know, and I understand they have different engines. I can't help but feel a lot of times, and I know I'm the outlier on this, that I've been playing the same game over and over and over a lot this generation.
To be fair, though,
do you think
by the way,
Spider-Man and
no,
Bloodborne
let
are
me
the
finish.
same game?
Yeah,
No.
Oh, but Brett,
There you go.
we talked about this before because you said that exact same statement about Sony, and I said you could say that about every AAA game if you really think about it.
Well, man, Microsoft has had failures, but they have tried different things. Good example is Sea of Thieves. Didn't take off. It tried to be its thing.
Well, Sony tried Life of the Black Tiger, and that didn't work out. They tried.
God.
Oh man,
The fuck is that?
No, but Brett, the reason
wanna know, Brett.
the reason you feel like most AAA games play the same is because they kind of do. Brian complains about this shit all the time. You know.
Well, and between the two consoles, I see Microsoft at least doing some different stuff. And this isn't like me being like, "Oh, Microsoft deserves praise," kind of thing. This is me stating very factually that Microsoft's willingness to branch out more than Sony puts a huge X factor on things. If that experimentation pays off, they could end up with a hit game that is a system seller. Like, those games, more often than not, fail. But when they hit, a new and innovative game, when it hits, it really hits.
But Brett,
You know
I think they do try to innovate. They just the biggest games are the third person games. It's like, they tried The Last Guardian, they tried Detroit, they tried fucking Dreams. Those are pretty different games. And
besides swinging, what was innovative about Spider-Man? What was innovative about God of War? And don't say Bloodborne, because that wasn't Sony.
No, there's nothing innovative about those games. They were just very well done.
There's nothing innovative about any of Sony's big games.
No, I'm saying because they're not, because you're saying they're the same game and they're only trying the same thing, but it's because
you can't swing in God of War. I know that's semantics, but you know what I'm saying is like they're not.
You can't what?
You can't swing in God of War. That's a semantic thing, I know, but
I said other than swinging. I preface that.
Yeah, but again, the complaint you have against
and the
Sony
swinging.
Yeah.
Totally worth a game all by itself. I will
swinging was
admit that.
good, yeah.
Swinging it is amazing swinging. But Sony plays it safe. That's all I'm saying.
And Gravity Rush 2 was another one that was pretty out there,
Gravity Rush 2 was this kind of redheaded stepchild that Sony did not advertise as much as they should have. Nor did they give it.
Yeah, but it
nor
still
did they give it the.
But it still came out. Sony released it. And just like Carlos said, they also released Dreams and Detroit and shit like that. So they're not just pumping out. Granted, the games they market the most.
Tearaway.
Yeah, but again, the same complaint you have about Sony, you can lobby that against every AAA publisher.
Okay, whoa. Again, this isn't a complaint against Sony. This isn't a praise on Microsoft. Simply a statement that it is. Microsoft is playing the long bet. They're playing the 20-1 odds, right? They're trying all kinds of different stuff in the hope that one of them hits big. Sony's playing Sony's playing at the roulette table betting on black, right? Microsoft's at the roulette table betting on 17. If that 17 hits, it's going to pay off way more because you're going to get an innovative jump in gaming. And Microsoft has done that before. That was the first Halo. We may be talking about a bygone heyday, but that's why I think they got 16 fucking studios. Are those all going to make good games? Fuck no. Are they just going to throw shit at the wall and see what sticks? Sure. That's how great games are made sometimes. That's how we got most of the great games. I mean, that's literally most of what the PS2 library was. There was people just making games and throwing money at games. Like, I don't know, just fucking make something. People were just throwing shit all over the place. A ton of it was terrible. but some of it was our favorite games of all time. So I don't really have a problem with the shotgun approach. It's just a big question of if it hits. Do you know what I'm saying? Like when I say Microsoft's playing the long odds here.
Oh yeah, no, I was just saying. By the way, Goose says the Microsoft isn't doing that. They're in the back of the room gasping for air. Oh man. Anyway, let's move on because we still got a bunch of questions for tonight. But we're still talking about next gen. Damien's next question. In the last episode, Brett went on a rant of PC games not on consoles for whatever reason. During this generation, we saw a huge migration of PC games coming to consoles. Some were not well optimized, but they were still available. My question is, with the massive increase in processing power and better CPU. By the way, let me finish the rest because you guys are going to jump at me as soon as I read a specific part. Okay, question. With the massive increase in processing power and better CPUs in the next generation systems, what would prevent PC games from coming to consoles? At least for the next year, consoles will be ahead of 90% of gaming rigs. Steam's numbers, not mine. Steam says only 2 to 5% of PC gamers game at 1440p or better rigs. I
don't disagree with his point. I'm pretty sure.
Boy.
Yeah, Brian, man, get in here, brother.
I'll let Carlos finish.
Okay, go ahead, Carlos.
Well, the whole 90% thing, I'm pretty sure I don't know. I doubt it's factually right, but I'm pretty sure it's close. Like it's ballpark-ish. Because I mean, so many people have a fucking PC and they're all shit. Like people don't use it in a game, but anyways. And also like, I guess mouse and keyboard is a huge thing. Actually, I want to hear what Brian's gonna say.
Oh no, finish up your thoughts. Yeah.
I finished.
Okay, cool. What stops people from jumping on consoles? It's quite simple. There's lots of things that consoles just don't have. And this is going to be really funny, but it's true. They just don't have the games. Like, yes, they have some games, but they don't have all the games, and that's the problem. Like, if you look at the library of consoles, it's very stagnant in that the only games that seem to do well are just the same tired games, and this is the problem that Brett has. And the problem that Brett has is pretty much the same problem that I have, in that the market itself for console games is very stagnant. It's just like, hey, here's an outline of what a game is, and that's it. Just pump out. This is why I didn't like Zero Dawn, because it's like, hey, they just took the formula of like what games sell and made a game based on that. It's like, come on,
You're just a hater, man.
what's wrong with you? I bought the game. How am I a hater?
You know.
Exactly.
Yo, man, they don't have.
You have no comeback, Carlos. You have no comeback. I
did it. I did it for a laugh, man. I wasn't serious. But
Yeah.
Heroes of the Storm isn't on consoles either. That's another one.
Since when did derivative not become a bad word?
Wait, since when did it not become a bad word?
Yeah. Yeah, you guys are over here trumpeting games that are made of literally nothing but the other parts of games Frankenstein together. The definition of derivative.
Yeah, but I mean, just because a game has similar parts to other games, as long as it's done well, it doesn't matter. Most things are derivative in all art, you know. Just because on the flip side, just because something is innovative doesn't make it good, you know. As a matter of fact, I'm going to say this: most innovative things are actually bullshit, you know. Like they're like, oh, you're just trying to be an auteur now or whatever, you know. It's like, no, get the fuck out of here, man. You know,
I didn't mean to jump on Brian's toes. Continue, Brian.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, Brian.
I actually agree with Tony there. Like, just because something is derivative doesn't mean that it's actually bad. I mean, take God of War. Like, that didn't really innovate on anything. Like, I'm talking about OG God of War, not this new one. Like, it actually didn't innovate on anything, and it was pretty much Devil May Cry. Even David Jaffe said that he was inspired by Devil May Cry, but yet it was one of the best games on PS2. So I think it's still fine to do that. I don't know, back to the point. What they don't have. Carla said keyboard and mouse. Some games do support that, which is pretty cool, but it's not widespread enough. And even then, when you say, okay, take all that out, what is stop people jumping on board? I'll tell you one big reason. Resolutions. On PC, you can get a game running on any resolution that's pretty much possible. Like, I'm right now playing Elite Dangerous at an ultra-wide 1440p. Consoles are not going to do that. They're just going to support 1080p and possibly 4K, and that's it. If you have any other type screen, then it just looks crap on it, which is really frustrating. And then when you throw in stuff like mods change the whole game. Like they literally change the whole game. So you have all these other features. You have mods. You have custom. You have people out there like making mods of like other games into other games. Like people are trying to make also like they're trying to make GTA San Andreas in GTA 5. Why? Because they can. Like all this other stuff is just not available on consoles, and that's what's going to stop people from jumping over.
Can I interject real quick?
This is why I had the issue of when PlayStation released the PS4 Pro. They're like, "Hey, this is like we have identified that people they start off on consoles and then midway through they go on to PC. So we made a PS4 Pro in order to get them back." And I'm like, people just don't go back because something is higher res. Like there's more to it. Like we need the higher frame rate. We need the screen resolutions. We need the ability to like put it in our games and play them. Like all those other features you just don't have in there, and that's what stops people. Like there's plenty of games that I play on PC that just are not available on consoles and probably will never come to consoles. So why should I jump on that? I don't understand.
Hey, Brian.
I was invoked.
You're good. Go do it.
I require 30 seconds to respond.
And then I got to
the
jump in after you, Carlos. Go ahead.
Hey,
The reason
Just
why,
a real quick thing, Brett, and then you could go. Go ahead, Carlos.
the reason why I mentioned keyboard and mouse is for games like WoW or Dota or Heroes of the Storm. If they port over those games to consoles, they have to, and I absolutely mean it, they have to have controller support, and it's not going to work. And yes, people can get a keyboard and mouse and plug it into their consoles and make it work, but the majority of the people that are going to be trying your games are going to be on a controller, and they don't want people to play their games with a controller because it's just they can't do it. It's impossible. That's it.
Yeah, Brian, you need to answer this for Damien. He goes, your argument right there about the resolutions is a crap argument. And then he types in all capitals because we play on televisions. There are no 1440p TVs. So
Not everyone that plays the consoles plays on TVs. Like for example, me, I've actually never hooked up my PlayStation to my TV. It's always been to my monitor. So hence, I'm still a person that has like this ultra wide monitor and just doesn't work. Like yes, it's like the same thing as keyboard and mouse. Like yeah, the majority of people will play on controller, but there's also the people that don't have that because they don't want to play on controller. They want to play on keyboard and mouse. Like if you say, "Hey, here's our game," you have to play with a controller. Deal with it. Like people just say, "No, fuck that." Just like you have people going the other way, where it's like, "Hey, come to our platform where you have to play on keyboard and mouse." And people are like, "No, I don't want to do that. I want to play on controller." So you always get people that just don't want to use that input to play that game. And yeah, if games are designed for keyboard and mouse and it's just really difficult to map them to controllers, then they just won't, and just be a nightmare.
And Damien, Halo Wars is a shitty example because that game was specifically made with consoles in mind.
Okay, well, real quick.
Yeah, go ahead, Brett. Go ahead. Your turn.
I think we should rewind a little bit. Tony, can you read the question for me again, please?
All right, I want to read the whole thing. In the last episode, Brett went on a rant of PC games not on consoles for whatever reason. During this gen, we saw a huge migration of PC games coming to consoles. Some were not well optimized, but they were still available. My question is, with the massive increase in processing power and better CPUs in the next generation systems, what would prevent PC games from coming to consoles? At least for the next year, consoles will be ahead of 90% of gaming rigs.
Okay, there's a lot to unpack there. First of all, we saw a huge migration of games, correct, but only certain games, not the ones right. You show me Ark on PS4, and I know it's on there. Try and run it. It's a dumpster fire. It doesn't work. You don't see games.
Switch as well, Brett.
Oh God, they will just do anything for money. There are games that just won't work on console, and they're not released because they just don't have the ability to. I mean, fuck, your PlayStation would literally levitate trying to play some of these games. The metrics and the data that you're kind of using are skewed in the sense that they're an aberration in the data. One thing you're not taking into account is cryptocurrency mining. This had a huge impact on the price of PC parts, which in turn led a lot of people to bail from the PC market because it actually became more affordable to get more power out of a console. And so a lot of even PC players kind of, ended up buying a console. So it wasn't a mass migration out of the PC market. It was a kind of temporary sheltering from a bubble in, I believe it was GPUs and then CPUs, or was it CPUs and then GPUs? I forget, but it was both. At one point, it was either or, and so pretty much the main two parts that determine the main two parts that determine gaming rocketed in price by like 2,000%, and it just didn't become worth it to put the time and effort and the upkeep into a PC. There is a point where you're just like, fuck it, this thing is streamlined, it runs better, it's cheaper. They have deals with the people making the chipset, so everything isn't being price gouged right now. So you have to keep that in mind. And when that happened, and a large portion of the PC market started playing on consoles, of course the gaming market adjusted to accommodate these people. So people that were releasing games on PC and not getting the numbers they wanted, re-released them, strangely enough, 2 years later, usually a year or two later, to the console, because they needed to make that money back. But they intended it to be released for PC. And that year or two that released later was them going, oh shit, we didn't make enough money on this. We're upside down. We were supposed to sell this many copies, but our audience went over here. We need to fucking adjust and pivot and sell to this group too. I don't think it's a big conspiracy that PC games, everybody hates PC games, and so they're just going to release PC games a year later because fuck you. They release PC games a year later because they're designed for consoles, and they did release PC games on consoles years later because they were designed for PCs.
Yeah.
How many years has it been? Yeah. How many years has it been, and WoW is still not on the consoles?
Yeah, right.
And that's kind of one of those things, and I'm not sure really why, because I'm pretty sure it could run it.
Yeah.
Oh, it definitely can run it.
StarCraft is not on consoles either, is it?
StarCraft 2 is not on it.
No,
I don't know about StarCraft. No. StarCraft 1, I think, was ported over somewhat. I think. I don't know.
Shit, I don't even know. The only RTS I played on console is Halo Wars.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I mean, if Star Citizen ever did release, which we know it won't, but if it ever did, do you think it would be able to run on a console?
Probably not.
No,
that'd be a strictly PC game.
Yeah,
that should probably not even. That should probably running on a supercomputer right now.
It's running on a quantum computer. That's the only thing that can run that shit.
And that right there is my point. We have thresholds that we acknowledge in computing power. Like Crysis could only run on a supercomputer, so you could only get this kind of game on a supercomputer. And it wasn't necessarily just the graphics on it; it was a lot of the particle effects, and the explosion, and the physics, and everything like that, the reflections. It was all this different stuff, so you couldn't just necessarily tune it down, which is why it was known as a card melting game, right? So we agree that there are certain levels at which certain types of games can no longer be played. Yet the same metric somehow doesn't apply when comparing consoles to PCs of a higher power or a higher spec. Like, if the PC is higher spec, of course it's going to be able to play games than the things that have a lower spec. This is something we've proven before, but we somehow forget or discount when discussing consoles.
Yo, bid. All right, let's move on, man. We got more questions here. And this one, let me get the Chiron up. This one's from Eurocar9. I don't know who this guy is, man.
I don't know.
Yeah, so his question
dude.
Yeah, some dude, Okay, he goes, most of the crew threw the biggest plot twist in history on the last Throwdown. But let's say, hypothetically, you get the, us, Throwdown guys, get the PlayStation 5 at launch. If you were to replay or get a game you haven't played from the PS4 library to play on PlayStation 5, which would you pick? Interesting question. Eurocar9.
I'll go first because I have the easiest answer. All of them, because that's why I'm buying a PS5.
To play
so you are getting
games?
a day one?
Okay, sorry, not on day one, but in the other context. Because your question
Okay.
was which
In the
PS4
hypothetical.
games would you play? So
Gotcha.
the reason why I'm getting PS5 is to play my PS4 games at a good frame rates. So technically all of them.
Oh man!
Well,
And by
that's
the way,
true.
by the way, let's
I'm
clear things
sorry.
up. We're all gonna get the PlayStation 5, just not at launch. You know?
Oh, except for me.
Yeah, you're the only one. Yeah.
Unless I can't because of the artificial scarcity that Brett's saying.
Hey, yo, you'll be able to play You'll be able to beat Spider-Man in like 2 hours playing it on PlayStation 5, right? You know?
You're gonna start swinging like crazy, man.
Yeah, right. That's crazy.
Like that demo.
You know, demo they haven't shown us, by the way. Just
Yep.
saying. Yeah, go ahead.
For
bro.
me,
Yeah,
I'll go.
yeah. Go
For
ahead.
me, I think I'll play Death Stranding. Just because I haven't played it and I don't know when it's gonna come out on PC. So I might as well just play it on the PS5. And since I'm not expecting any PS5 games launching with a system that are going to be of note, like we talked earlier, then might as well just get into Death Stranding and see what the fuss is about.
Hmm.
Oh, Death Stranding's another one, dude.
Death Stranding 2nd of June.
Second,
Oh, for PC,
Yeah.
that's right.
Oh,
Yeah.
my PC?
on
Yeah,
my
I was about to say
PC?
like they said the release date was like midsummer-ish. So it's like yeah.
Oh, okay. I just wasn't paying attention, so I guess that changes my answer. Or man, nah, fuck it, I'm not gonna play it on PC. Fuck that.
I'll be honest. I have no desire to play PlayStation 4 games on PlayStation 5. I played them already. Why would I want to replay them again? You know?
That's kind of my point. Like, if I wanted to play it, I have gotten.
Oh, Brett, you're cutting out a little bit, brother.
If I had played it when I played it,
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Perfect.
Yeah, it's like I played Bloodborne already. I played God of War. I played Spider-Man. I played Detroit. I played Horizon. I don't really need to play these games
Yeah.
again. You know. So my
I'll answer
answer's
for
no.
Chris.
Yeah. Oh, for okay.
What?
Resident Evil 7 for like the 50th time.
No, not unless they get additional platinum for it. If they get if the platinum's stacked, then yeah. But no, I would say I would only be curious on testing the load times initially. So I would load up games that stress out my PS4 right now, like that I seen shitty load times, like
Yeah.
some like No Man's Sky, and play it for like an hour just to see what it's like, or play Spider-Man. And I mean, I platinum Spider-Man. I don't ever need to play it again. I would just load it up to be like, how fast can I swing through the city now, Mark Cerny? Let's see. Okay.
No.
You know, and I'd load up something like Just Cause 3. I'd load that up again just to see if all the speed is worth it. Like that game chugs a lot of time when
Yeah.
when you have a lot of explosions going on, a lot of shit happening. So I would love to see it run on PS5 and see if it's any better.
Yeah.
Just things like that. But otherwise, I wouldn't play too much.
My thing is like and Brian, you're gonna like this answer. So my first like instinct, like, hey, I should play The Witcher 3 on PlayStation 5. Then I was like, oh wait, I have something that can play The Witcher 3 now better than on PlayStation 5. It's my PC, you know, so don't need that shit. Any third party game that's gonna be on PlayStation 5 is gonna be better on my PC. You know, I'm talking about my current PC. I don't even need to upgrade it. My shit's already better than the PlayStation 5. You know, at least for the launch games. You know. So, I don't need to worry about that. So, yeah, no, I have no desire, absolutely no desire. If I play on PlayStation 4, I don't need to play it again. I'm good, you know? I think we're done with that question, so we can move on. Actually, any the last thing, since I forgot to put the next Chiron.
I'm with Chris also. I'd like to see if if there's like a little mode where you can switch Spider-Man so you can swing for like at 1,000,000 miles per hour. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, I'll test some games for sure, but like full on playthrough, nah, son. I do want to see how Bloodborne runs on it, but I'm gonna say this. This might sound weird because people are always saying, "Oh, the Bloodborne's like locked in at 30 frames. It should be 60." I think the game was designed to be played at 30 frames. Like it might not work right, but then again, how do the Dark Souls games work on PC? Or do they play better at higher frame rates? Because I feel I could be wrong about this. I feel like those games are designed to be 30, and that's how you get the hitbox porn and all that other shit, that precision, because they know it's for 30 frames a second. You know.
you were correct.
Oh, I am.
They work
Okay.
fine on
Yeah.
PC. Like
No,
seriously,
wait.
Oh,
Yeah,
Dark Souls.
Yeah, Dark Souls 1, because Dark Souls 1 wasn't really a game like put on PC the right way. They just kind of just like took the code and say, okay, cool, it's there now, you're done.
But
So
that's not.
it didn't work.
The question is whether or not it's meant to be played in 30 frames, which I can conclusively prove to be true with Dark Souls 2 because they actually based the durability of your weapon damage off of the frame rate. So when they turned it to 60 frames per second, the remastered edition, they had to rebalance it because they had a huge issue with early weapon degradation that angered the whole community.
Oh wow! Yeah, I guess that's proof right there.
But then, is that a case of it meant to be played at 30 frames per second, or it was programmed to?
It was designed. That's
be
what I say.
played
I think it was
at 30
designed.
frames?
Yeah, I think it's the
Yeah,
latter,
then-
Brian. It was designed to be played at 30 frames a second.
Then that's a big mistake. It sounds like another instance of Need for Speed Rivals, where the game was all coded around 30 frames per second. So when it came on PC and people unlocked the frame rate, everything was out of whack because everything was programmed for 30 frames per second, which is not how games should be. It should be programmed not to run off frame rate, because then if the frame rate dips, then the whole game just goes to shit. So even then, it's a bad principle. Period.
Yeah, it was a bad idea. But they also stated repeatedly that their games were never designed to be played on PC, and the only reason they ported them was from massive letter writing campaigns.
Oh, there
But
you
yeah,
go.
in terms of Dark Souls 3 runs really good on PC. Even Digital Foundry noted that it was the first time that the Bloodborne engine was running at 60 frames per second, which I think is quite funny. It's like,
It got the Ledbetter seal of approval.
Oh man! All right, let's move on, man. We got Black Metal Gamer.
All right, man. Screw you.
What do you mean?
What?
Why did I
What?
skip you, Carlos?
Yo, man, you skipping me, man?
I thought you answered.
No, man, you skipping my second question.
No, we'll get to it later, bro.
What?
Remember,
Excuse me?
I put them in a specific order, man.
Yo, man, you
Okay.
the architect?
Yeah, man, exactly. Yeah, because your question is kind of links with another one that we got from Goose, so it's gonna be fun. Oh yeah, I'll get to it, Carlos. Don't worry about it, brother. All right, next up, Black Metal Gamer. Last gen had many games with Who the fuck is Brett? Is that you making that noise?
Sorry, I thought I was blowing dust off something, and I didn't realize that I was on.
I was like, he's either blowing smoke or he's like doing that to a cat, like shh, shh.
No, man, I'm unloading a box of old stuff. I happened to find some things of my dad. So.
All right, cool. All right, last gen had many games with tacked-on multiplayer. It seemed more so than this generation. So what games with tacked-on multiplayer did you find awful, and what games did you enjoy? He's right about that. Last gen, there was a lot of games that had tacked-on multiplayer. Some right off the bat I could think of: Dead Space 2, Tomb Raider, God of War Ascension. They just tacked these fucking things.
Oh, that shit had multiplayer?
Yeah, it did, man.
Oh,
God of War Ascension itself is just tacked on.
Yes.
The whole game.
Yeah, it is. Let's just be real,
damn.
And I'm going to piss off some fans tonight.
Uncharted 3!
Yeah, Uncharted, that's right. Tacked on multiplayer, son. And The Last of Us 2.
Oh, dude.
Oh, man. Anyway, there's a lot of those type of games. So which one of those did we like? Those tacked on multiplayer modes. Which one of those did we actually like? By the way, to be fair to The Last of Us 2, if you played correctly, it actually is a cool mode. It's just when I personally played it, it was just a bunch of chuckleheads running around shooting each other, so that was it got boring really fast. But if you play correctly and shit, it actually is a cool multiplayer, and that's why people still play it to this day. But yeah, I was not feeling that first, man. Anyway, Chris, go ahead. Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Chris.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say I enjoyed the Uncharted 2 multiplayer.
Yeah, I had some fun with that.
Oh,
Yeah.
And that was totally tacked on. Like I didn't need that. I was just like, let me try it.
I got one. Go ahead, finish up, Chris.
Oh yeah. Do we have to do one we liked and one we disliked, or
yeah, sure. Yeah, you could do both.
Dislike.
That's an easy one. Dislike. I can name a bunch of them.
Oh yeah, there's a bunch of them. I'm gonna go with the latest one, Resident Evil Resistance. Trash, man. Don't even bother. Don't even bother.
yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah. For me, for last gen, it was Mass Effect 3 tacked-on multiplayer. I liked it.
Oh yeah.
I liked that one a lot, actually. I had a lot of fun, and it was actually a good way of getting some trophies too. But I actually legitimately enjoyed it because I went in, I'm like, this is bullshit. Fuck that. This isn't needed, And then tacked-on multiplayer, I didn't like. Tomb Raider was bad, man. That multiplayer was like, what the fuck is this shit?
Yeah.
That was bad. And also, a special shout out to Mass Effect Andromeda. That tacked-on multiplayer was bullshit, but the game was bullshit too, though.
It was all bullshit, man.
It was all bullshit, Mr. Davis.
So I don't know if I don't know if my answer is it works, but if it does, it'll answer for me and Brett. Portal 2. Because it had online co-op, like compared to the second game.
That's right. Yeah, the two robots.
Damn it, Carlos.
That was fucking amazing.
God damn it. That should have been my answer. That was an awesome tacked-on multiplayer mode.
Yo, man.
I that was the last thing that I needed to get the platinum. So me and Manny, we played that whole shit that night.
Yo, man, isn't that shit great?
Yeah,
that shit was just as good as the fucking campaign.
It was fantastic. It was really, really good. As a matter of fact, I'll go on and say that was the best. Yeah, you know what's even better than Mass Effect multiplayer? It was because the story had a story in it. It had a story. It was really good. I remember that was the one game where I was kind of joking with people. Remember when the PlayStation Network went down for was it for like how many days was that?
Yeah, it was like a while.
So I was like, haha, you guys play multiplayer games. I got my single player games. I'm not missing nothing. Then it's like, Manny was like, hey, let's play Portal. Fuck, I can't do it. Oh man.
Damn, I guess Brett isn't here.
He's right there, man.
No, I'm here. Hold on a minute, guys. I'll be back in a minute.
All right, bro. Don't worry, Carlos. I'm here with you, man. Portal 2 multiplayer.
Yo, man, I appreciate it.
Badass.
Because I knew it, like when I would have mentioned, bro would have lost his mind.
And if Manny was here, he'd be with you too, man.
Oh, dude.
Again, I played with him. We had a blast. I was like, yo, this shit is fucking dope.
What did I miss?
Basically, we were talking about how awesome the multiplayer or the co-op mode of Portal 2 was.
Oh yeah, that game was amazing.
Yeah, everything was awesome about that fucking game.
Yeah.
No, what happened is Carlos assumed you were going to be the only one that took his side, and it turns out I loved it, and Manny was here. He would have loved it too. It was great.
Well, there you go.
The co-op was fantastic.
Yeah, dude. So I don't know that was bolted on though. I feel like that was designed from the ground up.
I think so too.
Yeah, but I mean, dope. I guess like part of like the thing, it's like, well, Portal 1 was just like the whole single player part, and then Portal 2 was a single player and a co-op, and then it was like people like I thought when I played it, I'm like, I'm gonna play the single player first and then play the co-op. But the co-op I'm not too hyped for. Yeah. Because I felt like it would be just tacked on, but the co-op was just as good as the fucking campaign.
Yeah, I was the same way. Again, the only reason Manny and I even played, we're like, hey, we got all these trophies, may as well finish off, get the platinum. Then we played, it's like, yo, this is fucking legit. And like the levels, because you needed to have two players, they were so like intricately designed, genius shit, man.
It was very innovative.
Yeah, innovative. All right, Brian.
Yeah, Tony, you took the words out of my mouth. Tomb Raider. That was not necessary. I was so confused as to why it was there. Well, I was confused as to why they thought it was a good idea to put it there. I mean, it made no sense. It was just janky as all hell. I think I played it for like half an hour, and then like, cool, I'm done.
Yeah, that was me too, bro.
Hey, Brian.
I reviewed this part. I'm done. I'm good. What's up?
Does Witcher 3 have multiplayer?
Nope.
Nice. I was just curious.
Yeah, remember, Witcher came out this gen. They kind of stopped that tacked-on multiplayer shit this gen,
So if it would have come out last gen, it would probably.
It would have. But then again, to be fair, Witcher 2 came out last gen, didn't have that bullshit,
In terms of games that did and did well, I actually cannot think of any. Can't think of anything. In fact, I really cannot think of anything. Like even stuff that you guys have named, I haven't really played it, so hence I can't say. Like Portal 2.
God of War Ascension.
I'm just not playing the game at all. Like I have it free on PSN Plus, but no, I'm not playing it.
Hold on, I didn't know Arkham Origins had multiplayer tacked on.
Wait, it did? Okay,
He's-
that's news to me too.
Yeah, Goose says it was straight. It was straight culo.
Oh, okay.
Oh man! Wow! We all learned something tonight.
No, I can't think of anything else. Like
All right.
I really didn't like.
All right, Brett. What about you? What tacked on multiplayer modes did you dislike, and which ones did you like? If you're talking, you're muted right now, or he may not even be there. Dun dun dun.
Oh,
Yeah. We answer for him though. Portal. He liked that one. All right, maybe he's walking his dog or something.
Or maybe he's making dinner.
Yeah, he could be. Heating up pizza. Is that what he does?
Oh, you know what? Yo, by the way, quick shout out. This is in last gen. Wait, is it last gen? No, it wasn't last gen. This was 2 gens ago. Fucking Splinter Cell Chaos Theory had tacked on multiplayer, and it was fucking awesome, man. So shout out to Splinter Cell Chaos Theory.
Speaking about that, Hitman. I forgot which Hitman game. It was a Hitman game from last gen that had a really dope like
Hitman Absolution?
I think it was Absolution. That shit was crazy. All right, let us move on here to the next question. All right, what are your thoughts on the upcoming Poly Mega and Intellivision Amico consoles? Do these niche retro enthusiast consoles even have a shot in today's gaming climate, or will they flop like the Steambox or Ouya? Damn. Here's the thing: I don't think these consoles are gonna flop because they're not marketed towards a big audience. They're targeted towards the retro enthusiasts, so they'll do fine among that crowd. Here's the thing: in television, I don't give a fuck. I never played those games. Chris, is the Poly Mega that system I showed you the other day that you could play even Saturn games on that shit?
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
Give me that fucking shit right now, son.
Yeah, it's gonna appeal to retro guys. Like I was like, oh man, I'd get that in a second.
Hell yeah.
But it's not like Ouya is there. Ouya is trying to be a console.
Yeah, exactly.
They were competing with these aren't competing with anything. It's just like, hey, you love retro games? Yeah. There you go. You can play everything in one box.
Yeah. They're again, those were for like mainstream audiences. They obviously flopped. These are for hardcore, old school retro guys. So it's gonna be fine among those crowds. That fucking Poly Mega because it comes with an optical drive. Like I don't think there's any retro consoles that I know of have an optical drive in them. This one does. Oh man, and I got all my Saturn games still, bro. Are you kidding me? I'm gonna play them shits. Can't wait. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So let's move on here. Damn it, we're kind of going through. It's funny, we spent like a million years on the first couple of questions. Now we're running through these. All right.
Yeah, well, that's because I had to dip out for a second.
Hey, there you are, Brett.
Agonize.
Damn it.
Oh.
Yeah, you were kind of.
You cut off, Brett.
I said I wasn't here to antagonize him. What happens when I'm not here? Everybody just gets along and nobody yells.
Yeah, this is true.
Yo, man, you weren't going to antagonize Portal 2, though.
No, I wasn't.
Yeah. Brett, since you're here, bro, can you answer that question? What is one of your favorite tacked-on multiplayer modes, and which one is one you hated?
I hated Uncharted 2.
Oh, man.
I don't know, man. I know a lot of people loved it. I tried, but I felt like it's like, man, this is so obviously bolted on. I'm just not feeling it. The answer to ones I liked, I don't like any of the bolted on multiplayers. I love multiplayer, but you have to consider it systemically. It has to be a part, a foundational pillar of the game, and the rest of the game built upon it. I don't mean Fortnite kind of thing, but I mean like the best example I have, of course, is like Dark Souls. Like invading and being invaded is a core mechanic of the game that lends itself well to the story and the experience of the actual game. It was innovative, it was different, it wasn't intrusive, even though it was kind of intrusive when a phantom came into your world, but that was kind of what happened in the Dark Souls world. It worked thematically. So, and that's not something where they just kind of ended up with like, it'd be cool if we just let you go into another person's game. Like, they had to work and balance that from the get-go. In fact, that was a foundational concept of the game, because Izaki said that when he was thinking of what the game was, he was thinking of different travelers, meeting up and speaking around a bonfire about the places that they've been and the things that they've seen, and that informing the other travelers, the other adventurers, of places they might want to go and they might want to see. Like, hey, go down that hill. There's a giant one, Cyclops guarding a treasure. Like, whoa, really? Yeah, man, I just fought him. Like, that's the idea of the messages. That's the idea of the bonfires. That was a key thematic throughout the game, and it included multiplayer. So the answer to what bolted on multiplayer, what bolted on last minute multiplayer do I like? None. Because by definition, it's ill thought out.
Yeah, no, most of them are fucking trash. All right, let's move on.
Was anybody able to name a good one?
Yeah, I liked
was actually bolted on.
Yeah, I liked Mass Effect 3's one. That was actually, I had a lot of fun with that.
Dude, that was totally bolted on. That's fair.
Yeah, that was bolted on, but I enjoyed it. So, and you disagree that Portal 2 was bolted on, right?
No, man, Portal 2 that was part of the game from its design, from its inception.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I guess just my mini argument would be it's like Portal 1 had was just the campaign, the single player campaign, and it was critically acclaimed and a lot of people loved it, and then it just added a co-op to it. Like it did that and it added a co-op for 2. So it was kind of tacked on, but it was done in the best way possible.
You don't think that's a natural progression?
No, they could have just released Portal 2, the campaign, and it still would have been equal. I mean, probably just as hype and just as critically acclaimed.
You know, it's sad that a lot of people don't even talk about that multiplayer mode. When they talk about Portal 2, they only talk about the single player.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. Dude, the multiplayer was half the game. Like you didn't hear half of the jokes or play. It's not just like, oh, here's some crappy levels thrown at you. It's honestly half of the game.
Yeah, no, I agree with you completely. It's just sad that most people completely skipped it. You know?
I agree. I'm also agreeing with you. I'm in shock. Like, why would people skip that?
I don't know.
It's half the game.
It is. It's half the game, and it's just as good as the single player. You know,
dude, that's like my fatal Fable 3 mistake, man.
Oh
yeah, you mean the second half of Fable 3? That's right. Oh, I conquered the kingdom. Game's over. It's like, oh, there's more, guys. you gotta deal with the repercussions now. You know.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, I played for the few that don't know and played Fable 3. I played Fable 3 up to the point where I conquered the kingdom and became king, and the little credit screen rolled, and I'm like, oh, cool, I'm done with the game. Turns out the credit screen rolls halfway through the game for no goddamn reason. And the second half of the game is the repercussions of the way that you conquered the kingdom. And like, I come back like 3 weeks later, Rachel's still playing. I was like, I thought you beat this game. She's like, no, I just became king. And I'm like, wait, that's not beating it?
Oh, man. Yeah, it's like, hey, now you're the king. Now you got to actually reign, bruh. You know? It's interesting, man. All right, let's move on. We got Reaction Gift King, a.k.a. Goose. So the first question is, why are gaming journalists in Europe so different in how they cover gaming in relation to their American counterparts? I grew up reading EGM and Game Informer, and later on reading sites like IGN, GameSpot, NeoGAF, etc. The one through line is how they cover video games. Very technical in nature. They focus on graphics, level design, core gameplay loops, etc. Their European counterparts also do this, but after reading sites like Eurogamer and Edge magazine, these journals focus on narrative and more abstract substance. I never really thought about that, but, you know, I was thinking about this question. Like, yeah, like Europeans do put a little bit more focus on that, you know, abstracty stuff, you know? Like, you know, Americans kind of treat they kind of treat it more like an art, like a piece of art, like a video game. And Americans treat it like a product, you know, like a piece of technology or whatever, you know. So why do we think that's the case?
Maybe it's a cultural thing. Maybe the way they look at the game, like you said, like to them, video games is art. So you're looking for these sublime experiences and all this stuff beyond just visuals and all that stuff. With us, we're very, you know, we have categories on what we expect in a game, right? Just like movies and all this stuff, we rate those things the same. Our entertainment is kind of rated the same. It's like, how do the visuals look? How's the sound? How's the music? How's the control? How's it, so these very tangible things that we measure. And I'd only say why that is that in our culture, we separate art and entertainment. Which,
Yeah.
even though there's always the argument, like, video games is art, movies, it's a creative process, so it should all be art. But in general, that doesn't happen, right? I don't. I'll never go to a museum and see Kratos on a wall or something. Like, and the same thing with like comic books. Like, we love, I love comic book art. Like, Tony, like
Oh
some
yeah, no,
comic book artists are like fantastic. They'll never be featured in that gallery somewhere
no.
in Manhattan or anything like that. So it's just how our culture treats entertainment, art, and experience versus, I guess, Europe
Yeah, like
treats
if
everything the same.
yeah, if they have comic book art in one of those galleries, it's always like ironic. You know what I mean? Like, even though there's guys like Bill Sienkiewicz is like they should be there, like the fucking masterpieces and shit. But 'cause I'm
Yeah,
thinking about what was the name? It's like the Marilyn Monroe, but it looks like a comic. Like we'll get shit like that, at best.
yeah.
Yeah, but I want Brian to jump in as our resident European here. Actually, you're not European anymore, Brian. You're just British now. You guys exited the European. You're just British now.
Yeah. I actually have not noticed that, so I can't actually comment. But I
Interesting.
think I'll start looking at that. I guess the closest thing I have to that is the trailer, the European and the worldwide trailer for um, Prometheus. Yes, that was it. If you go and look them up, they have two very different tones. The European one is more of a horror film or like a thriller film, in that it's very quiet, very atmospheric, very heavy, whereas the worldwide one is more action oriented, so hence it's very fast paced, very fast cuts, loud booms and all sorts. So having two different tr- trailers for the same film is just kind of like, wow, like it just it said to me that the audiences for these, for like where this film is, and so where this film is going to be released is very different. So I think that's the closest thing I've noticed to what he's talking about. But never with game reviews. I tend not to read them because I just look at the game and I decide if I like it or not.
Yeah.
So sorry, can answer.
One example I can think of, not really for this generation or the previous generation, but European box art is generally more artsy than American box art. American box art is fucking generic bullshit most of the time. Like I'm thinking about like Shadow Colossus is a perfect example, right? No, yeah, Shadow Colossus and Eco, the game that came out before it. Like the European box art was beautiful. They actually looked like the paintings that inspired the art styles of those games. Meanwhile, the American is just some fucking CG bullshit on it. So yeah, like the Europeans, generally do lean more towards like artsy shit than America. Americans are very just technical, breaking down everything nuts and bolts and shit like that.
And Americans
I wonder
don't
whether
Oh, sorry, Brad. Go ahead. Brad, you go first. You were talking.
Americans don't value art.
They don't. They don't. They really don't.
I mean, it sounds like they view art as an asset, but very little more than that. Like even at times, like you can walk past art and not have it even register, because we've gotten so overt and loud and graphic. I think a lot of it's kind of like how we have sugar in it. It's just it becomes too much and you start to tune it out and it starts to lose favor. And we've never been great on favoring a whole lot of culture, or finding it very important. So I think that's just the natural result. If that makes any sense?
No, it does. It does.
They look at things from a point of view. It is the embodiment of the idea of culture. They look at the world through a different lens that was shaped by the culture that they were raised in, right? And so if they were raised in a culture where you value art more, you tend to look at things in a way that critically breaks down and appreciates art.
Yeah.
Like you kind of have to be trained, and I hate to say this, but it's not that you have to be trained to like certain things. It's that you need a true fundamental understanding of certain things to really appreciate what they are. And I don't think Americans are even trained enough to register art as. Half the times the people I know will read a comic book and not even register how cool the art is. Like, they won't sit there and actually marvel at a page and be like, dude, somebody drew this. This is crazy. Like, look at this. It's beautiful. They'll just kind of breeze past and be like, yeah, it was a picture of him punching a guy. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, and the thing is, when Europeans think about it, they grew up with like the actual source of that shit. You know, the Mona Lisa, it's there. You know, it's like the real deal. Like all these statues, like classical music, all that shit it was grown there. Americans, we have our art obviously, but it seems like it's more workman like too. You know what I'm saying? Like our art is very like for lack of a better term, like just like gristlier and shit, like gnarlier. You know what I'm saying? I know I'm probably saying that fucked up, but you know what I'm trying to get at. It's like it's not as refined and like
blue collar.
Yeah, it's blue collar, which is but it makes sense. We're a blue collar nation, so like I guess our art reflects our people. And I know I'm it's only one music example. I'm gonna use metal as an example, right? American metal is very like barbarian-ish, compared to Europeans, more refined, even though it's like they're both aggressive and shit technical. Europeans, they just do it in a more refined way. Meanwhile, Americans are just like beating you over the head with shit. It's just the way our culture is. I always said this, like, if you have, like, let's say Europe and America are two people, right? Europe they'll tell you all their virtues, like, oh yeah, we created this, we did that. They'll do it in a very dignified manner, right? They'll say all these great things that they brought, to the world in terms of culture. American will look at them as like, oh yeah, can you kick my ass? That's in a nutshell,
Yeah,
that's America. Oh man. All right. Anybody else want to jump in on this? Carlos, do you want to say something? Oh, he's muted right now. He's probably on a call.
Oh,
Here's man. All right, man. Let's move on.
What happened?
Oh yeah, didn't you want to say something on this?
No, I just wanted to interrupt Brett.
Okay. Oh man.
No, I'm just joking. I forgot what
The European and American way of covering.
Oh
games.
yeah. I don't even want to derail it, but I was just gonna say, like, I wonder where the Japanese stand between, like, within all this.
Well, Japanese, that's a whole other thing right there. See, Iverson, tell me I'm wrong though. That's America in a nutshell. Oh yeah. Can you kick my ass? That's America right there. All that shit, we don't give a fuck about that. It's like we got bigger muscles, we got a bigger dick. Fuck you. That's America right there, man. All right, so let us move on to next question from Mr. Reaction Gift King, who is also known as Goose. This one's interesting. What is in the future for Throwdown? He's talking about us right now, people. All right, how can you guys leverage next gen to get more eyes on the product, which is the show? By the way, I hate using the word product, but you still used it, motherfucker. All right, I'm loud and I chat a lot on here, but I'm new. I watch both Throwdown and Throwdown Questions live, and whatever I miss, I listen to on YouTube. And not to be a brown noser, but you guys are enjoyable as fuck. I have you guys right up there with Giant Bomb and Easy A. Just want to know if anything else is planned to spruce shit up. Well, we're always working to spruce things up. As a matter of fact, if for you guys who've been watching us since day one, and I'm talking about from the ancient prehistoric 2012 days, you see we've made a lot of changes. But even within this version of Throwdown itself that started in 2014, we've made changes too. There's just been very gradual changes. Like right now, like you see the culmination. We're on Twitch and shit. We got all these graphics going on. We got contests, all this other stuff. None of that shit was there day one. It was just a gradual thing. Granted, this year, things are kind of falling off the wayside as far as planning goes, just because of everything that's going on. But Throwdown, we're always incorporate things. Usually, things we talk about amongst ourselves, and it just kind of we throw it out there, and then you guys throw in some ideas. Like, for example, latest thing is the Chirons here. That's because of you guys. So we're always doing something. Granted, we probably could put a little more, but with everything going on in the world, we're not thinking too much about it. But we're not trying to like rest on our laurels either. We're always trying to improve. And I do want to say this real quick. I'm glad you're comparing us to these bigger like kind of podcasts. It's kind of cool because the way I see it, I don't see them as our competition. We're not really trying to get that audience. We're trying to get more like you guys, like for lack of a better term, like the real gamer. I'm saying, the gritty motherfuckers like us. The real motherfuckers. That's who we kind of not really we go for. That's just who comes to us. So if you guys want more, like, if you don't want that scripted shit, if you don't want anything too fucking refined, you come to us, man. We give you the real shit here, and that's on purpose too. Like, I could go out of my way and start giving you a more highly produced product. I don't want to do that shit because I wouldn't want to watch shit like that. These, like, it just seems so fake. And I'm glad you guys are digging that type of stuff. And again, we serve a very specific type of audience. Basically guys like us. And I'll let you guys jump in a minute. But one thing you got to understand about this podcast, and this is just the truth. Yes, we do this for you guys to entertain us, but ultimately, at the end of the day, I do this shit because I like hanging out with these guys twice a week and just talking about fucking games. That's my main role. I always look forward to Throwdown. It's like, even with work sometimes, like, I gotta write this fucking bullshit. I gotta play this fucking game. Throwdown, that never happens. I'm always like, throw it down tonight. Let's fucking go. I'm always excited for that shit. And that translates over to you guys. So I'm glad you dig it. But yeah, there's definitely going to be things coming. And I'm glad you bring that question because it makes me rethink, like, oh yeah, we probably should start doing some more shit. But again, it'll be gradual. We don't want to throw too much shit at you. But wherever it is, we're never going to lose the core of the show, which is, bringing you like an honest gaming discussion from real gamers. That's how it is at the end of the day.
Shit, we used to have an anime show.
Yeah, we used to have
right.
a bunch of shit, So yeah, what do you guys have to say? I wish Manny was here because he's my co-host. So he's usually the guy.
We've trimmed and we've grown and we've done.
Oh, say that again, Bray. We've trimmed, we've grown.
We're like a fucking bond. Things have changed a lot over the years. That's all.
Yeah.
And I do want to say, in terms of like our outreach program and our business plan, I think all of us will agree we're pretty old school on it. So it is very simple. We want you to tune in. We want to give you a good show that you enjoy and you come back to. So much so that you tell your friend and they listen to us and they enjoy our show and they want to come back to it. We're not trying to like fleece anybody. We're not trying to be not real. That's kind of like Tony says. We're here for the real motherfuckers. We are. If you like us, tell a friend. Maybe they'll like us too. And eventually we'll get enough real motherfuckers together. We'll get a bigger budget and we'll start doing fancier graphics and shit. And it'll just grow like that, man. Like that's how it's been and that's how it's going to continue to be. There are probably a lot of things like, we could get in good with these people, or we should broadcast to this stream, but this system. But like, again, we're trying to hit those motherfuckers. We're just trying to put out a good product and make the people that listen happy. And if you're happy, fucking tell a friend. Tell two.
Yeah, that said it perfectly right there. Yeah, spread the word, man. You guys, and that's the thing. And I've said this a long time ago because I could understand there's a kind of desire. It's like, oh, this is my podcast. I'm gonna keep it for myself. Like, that's great and all, but spread the word, man. Tell your friends. You know what I'm saying? They may like our show. Spread the word.
We ain't gonna change if more people.
Oh, we ain't gonna change it. What, Brett? Brett, say that again.
I'm coming back. Hold on. Back in range. I said, we're not gonna change if we get more viewers. We're not gonna be one of those podcasts like that. Oh, suddenly we're popular. Here we are going to E3. We got sponsored by Activision's booth and everything here is super dope. Yeah. No, dude, you never fucking like. A, I can't pretend to do that for more than I just did, and B, we don't want to fucking do that. Like, there will never be a point where like we get a point and turn into Ninja. We don't give a fuck. So, like, yeah, as many as your friends will listen, that's absolutely awesome. It will not affect. You see how many people I piss off every show. Like, it doesn't really matter how many people are listening. I'm just going to piss off more people. None of us are changing. And the people I piss off repeatedly, again, I'm sorry. Thank you for tuning in.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no, you're
also,
never going to hear
sorry, not
shit.
sorry.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Oh man, I'll stop. Yeah, you're never gonna get shit like that from us. Like, hey guys, welcome to Throwdown, the greatest podcast ever. I'm your host Tony Polanco, and tonight I'm joined by. You ain't gonna shit like that from us, man.
Oh, dude, we should have an April Fool's Day show like that.
What happened?
We should have done an April Fool's Day show like that. Just cut in half the fucking like 15 minutes of just straight boilerplate bullshit game journalism.
Yeah. Hey, there's
smash that like button.
Yeah, smash that like button, guys. Hey, we got April 1st next year. When we're not going to be in the middle of a pandemic. But yeah, that's right. But the point is, like, we don't care about that shit. And I'm not to sound like an asshole. A lot of these gaming podcasts, I can't fucking listen to them, man, just because of that. It's so fake. And you hear the same shit. It's like, I don't give a fuck. I don't want to hear this stuff. I want to hear raw shit. You know, like that's why back in the day, my favorite podcasts were the War Zone, you know, and the Dual Shocker Shotcast, like because they were real dudes talking about, you know, like they discuss games the way I would discuss them with my boys. You know what I'm saying? Not this. All right, guys, today we're gonna talk about Army of One. You know, it's like fuck out of here with that shit. You know,
Yo, fucking Torrance didn't give a shit about who you pissed off.
Torrance didn't give a fuck. You know?
Yeah, the Godfather taught us well, man.
He really did, man. Now, granted, you know, with that said, I will say our show is a little bit more not censored, but we're a little bit more careful now, just because of the age we live in. But everything we say is still fucking honest. You know, we're not like going, oh, I believe in that stuff. Like, no, dude, you know. And by the way, I will say this, right, without saying it, our audience knows what we're about, right, and we know what they're about, and they come to us because we don't specifically talk about certain bullshit subjects that everybody else is on. We're not about that life, bro. You know, and
we don't take bullshit identity politics.
I'm just gonna say, if you guys watch the first year of Throwdown, you know what we're about here. You know, we're about real shit. You know. So that's all I gotta say. I said the word real like 50 fucking times, man. But it's true, you know?
For real.
For real, motherfuckers. All right, man. Let us move on here to Chiron. Eurocar 9 again, baby.
Yo, man, speaking of real, dude.
All right, this is a fun one. And this is for us here in the panel. If you were to face your fellow Throwdown members in a competitive gaming match to win money, which gaming genre or genres would you feel confident to pick to compete? Oh, boy. Now, Carlos, does this also include the person you want to face off against, or just everybody?
No, it has to be everyone. Like, let's say, Tony, you choose fighting game,
yes,
right? And you're like, okay, so anybody in here can challenge me, and I'll guarantee you I'll kick your ass.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's my answer. I'm pretty confident. The only one I don't know about is Chris. I don't know if I could beat him. I don't think we ever fought before, Chris, in a fighting game. But
no, I don't think so.
Yeah, but for the rest of you guys, I'm pretty confident I could beat you in Street Fighter. I'm just saying, man. I'm a beast, you know. Manny's not here, but I could beat him. Adam, I'm pretty sure I could beat him. I'm pretty sure I could beat him. You know. Brett, I'm pretty sure he gave me some competition. If you know, but Brett, you haven't played Street Fighter in a while. You may need to brush up a little bit. You know.
Yeah, if I need a weaker.
Yeah, Brett, I think you give me good competition. I don't know how that one go. Chris, I don't know how one would go. Carlos, I'm pretty sure I could beat you. Brian, I'm pretty sure I could beat you too. I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying.
Oh, we need to make this happen.
Hey, Throwdown versus, right?
But
Throwdown versus Throwdown. Oh, yo, there you go. There's your growth right there. We're gonna have a new show right there. You know.
Yo, man.
Throwdown head to head. We got to get Riku to come up with the fucking title. Anyway, go ahead, Chris.
Oh yeah. I think besides Tony, I probably could take the rest of you guys in Street Fighter.
Throw down, man. The gauntlet.
Nobody's best to me in Soul Calibur.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, I wouldn't even take that. I wouldn't
take that bet. I was very specific about the fighting game too. Any other fighting game, I'll probably get my ass kicked.
Yeah,
know?
just like I'm sure Brian would destroy me in Tekken. Like I don't.
Oh yeah, Brian would get my ass. Yeah,
that ain't even my game. A game.
But I'm pretty sure I could beat most of you two in Killer Instinct.
Oh.
I don't know, man.
Oh, Brett is like that, bro.
The OG one?
No. I don't play the OG one, man. That shit's broken. That's a fucking old joy. I'm talking about the Xbox one.
Yeah. Yo, by the way, real quick, C. Iverson, my nephew's in there. He goes, play me Mortal Kombat. Yo, okay. He wipes my ass, man. He beats the shit out of me in Mortal Kombat. But I still got you in Street Fighter, though, son. One day, by the way, my cousin, you know, the voice of God, as we call him, right? I played Street Fighter with this guy for fucking years, right? Since he was a little kid, right? I will beat the fuck out of him. I have never seen this man as happy when he finally beat me in Street Fighter. Like, his voice got high and shit. He was like, yeah, I did it. Like, he started pushing me around and shit. You know, he's been waiting years for that shit, you know?
So good.
Yeah. But to be fair, though, I was in Street Fighter 4 when we went back to the old school. I beat that ass, son. I still beat that ass. You can't. In old school, Street Fighter Alpha, Street Fighter Super, Street Fighter Turbo, I'm whipping you motherfuckers' asses, man. I'm telling you, you know? I haven't even played that shit in a while, but I'm telling you, I play that shit blind, son. You know? Just the sounds, you know? All right, let's go down the line here. So I went talking my shit. Brett, what genre do you want to challenge somebody in that you're sure you're going to beat us in?
What genre?
Yeah. Oh, damn, motherfuckers challenging me in the chat now. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Street Fighter Alpha 3, I didn't like Street Fighter Alpha 3. Street Fighter Alpha 2, let's go. But we can't even play that shit online. Fucking bullshit.
We got flame.
Yeah, best sketch, by the way. You know what? I'll play you in Street Fighter Alpha 3, but I can't guarantee anything. That game I didn't like very much, you know? Wait, what happened?
Goose, man. Yo,
What do you say?
oh, damn, yo.
Wait, what do you say?
Oh, you gotta read it.
Hold on.
Oh, shit.
So,
oh man, yo,
I
Goose,
can't read this shit.
Yo, Goose, you officially dropped the mic, yo. I don't know if we can say this on air, but
No,
Can you paraphrase for those?
No. I could read. We could read that, Carlos. We could read that. He says, and let's see if this is the right one. He goes, "Shit talking. That's a genre Brett will win."
Oh, shit. Damn.
I do have a master's in shit talk.
Yo, I don't even know what's going on anymore.
No, dude, I've totally learned. It's true. Like that is 100% accurate.
Damn, Sketch said being wrong too, Brett. Fuck that. Leave Brett alone, man. Let the man breathe. Man.
Dogpiling, man.
Yo, man, that's your opinion.
Yo, leave the man. Oh God. Anyway, Brett, what genre?
Open world PvP, man.
Oh shit, Absolver, right?
like Absolver, yeah, that's the first thing that came to my head.
Dude, if I had the chance to hunt down another player or be like that cat and mouse followed by the vicious beating, that's my favorite. Yeah, but that's why Absolver was pretty much built for me. Like, hey, I gotta build a custom fighting style moveset and then go out and beat the crap out of random people I find in the streets. Done.
All right, Brian.
I don't know. I've been thinking about it. Like, I was pretty decent at Street Fighter 4. So when Chris said Street Fighter, is like, I don't know. Again, I've not played since like those days, but I think I might stand a chance for a couple of seconds against Chris in Street Fighter. It'd be a respectable fight. You know, it's a well done, kid, but no. Type fight, as in on Chris's end, not on my end, obviously. But yeah, Tekken, I'm sure that I'd wipe the floor with most of you guys. I don't know about Brett, since Soul Calibur and Tekken similar-ish games. So
Actually, dude, Tekken I'm bad at.
okay, so yeah, I'd wipe you out. There's been some games in Tekken where like the other guy has just walked away. Because I just did like some really shit on him.
Yeah, unless you're playing as Eddie, then which is
I don't play as
cheating.
Eddie. I have
Only
skills.
noobs play as Eddie.
No, Eddie. See, I played against enough Eddie players that I know the strings. So it's like, okay, cool. I know how to block you now. So your bullshit doesn't work on me. You can try to, but it won't work on me. Plus, I play as Raven, and Raven has some real bullshit moves, which are brilliant. So yeah.
Yeah, you're one of those players I heard about the blocks.
Oh man.
I am trying to get my parry game down, where I just like parry down your moves and then you just get a free input string. But I'm not that good yet.
I have had a huge amount of success with just vicious, unrelenting offense.
Mm-hmm.
Especially in Soul Calibur, man. Like that's the key to win. The key to winning. don't give them room to breathe. Jam them into corner, beat the ever living crap out of them until they cry.
Lovely. What
Yeah,
are the- I'm generally trying to think. What are the PvP? I think Call of Duty. I mean, would like take you guys to Call of Duty.
Oh yeah, you beat my ass. Oh wait,
I think that if you
Carlos,
feel like a-
Carlos, excuse me.
Yeah, that was gonna be that was gonna be my pig.
I'm thinking that if we play like a gun game, I am pretty well versed. And plus, I've kind of mastered how you win gun game. It's really stupid, but it's really good. It's pretty much the whole you stand still and they come to you.
Okay.
Seriously, it's weird, but it just
Yeah.
works. Like every single time I play some gun game, I just stand still and then I just shoot people as they come towards me because that somehow works.
But it makes
Yeah, I
sense
think-
though. Yeah.
Yeah. Free for all. I don't know. I don't play that, but yeah, I'm sure that gun game I'd win quite well. But apart from that, I can't think of anything else.
Well, what
I don't do
about
sports
racing,
games.
Brian?
Yeah. What about racing?
I'm actually not that good. I just play a lot of it. I play really bad racing games.
Yeah, you just crash into people and shit.
Oh,
what? Damn.
I was about to say Burnout because Burnout, like we did play like a bit, so I think
Yes.
that would be quite fun.
Yeah,
But yeah.
and you're confident you can beat us in Burnout?
I don't know though. That's the thing. I really don't play Burnout for that reason. I just play it purely because it's fun. So I don't really say, okay, you know what? I'll pick the right cars for this track or like the optimum cars. No, I just play because hey, why not?
Did
Let's
we-
crash some stuff?
Did we ever? I mean, we played it a lot.
Yeah, we
Well, we
streamed it.
played
We
together
streamed it.
though, as like teams though,
Yeah,
not
as
like
teams.
individual.
Oh, we never. Oh, okay. I thought maybe we tried it or something.
Yeah, we did try, but we didn't do like like matches or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like or battle,
Yeah.
whatever the fuck they're called in that shit. You know?
We're just on the same world trying to get
Yeah.
fucking. Gotcha.
But anything else, I really don't know. Again, I
Death
don't
match.
play
That's the
much
word I'm
multiplayer
looking for.
games.
Yeah,
Oh, deathmatch.
yeah.
Death
Oh, whatever,
match.
or death car matches, whatever they would be in Burnout. All right. So Carlos, so Call of Duty for you, man.
Most first-person shooters, I would say,
Hmm.
Call of Duty, Halo, like a lot of the competitive ones. Like Halo, I was so fucking good at that game. Like I played that shit forever. Like Call of Duty, I played. I don't know, like the first, ever since 4, like I played like at least 6 of them, like competitively, like for a while. Sports games, I'm pretty sure I'll destroy all of you.
Of course, yeah. I don't even play those fucking games. Yeah.
And most MOBAs probably.
Oh yeah.
And chess.com.
This this motherfucker.
And because the only person that plays sports games is Adam, but I'm pretty sure I can beat Adam.
Oh damn. Yeah, man, I really would have loved to have heard Adam's answer to this shit. Yo, table tennis.
is the butter game.
Oh man.
Super Smash Brothers, and Gears multiplayer.
Oh.
Ah, was so fucking good, man.
Oh, Brett.
Gears-
Oh, Brett.
Did you say?
Well,
Go
Go
ahead,
ahead.
Brett.
Did you say Super Smash?
Yes, he did.
Yeah,
yes, he
Bros?
did.
Challenge accepted, bro.
Okay.
Oh, it's on.
we can play it.
You both.
I look forward to that.
You guys both have it on Switch, right?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Also,
my God,
I
Star
wanna
Fox.
throw- can I throw? Yeah, dude, I'm Link. Prepare to die. I do want to throw in there. I would say Dark Souls, but the one motherfucker I'm actually scared of is in this room.
Oh. What, is
Dude,
that
I've-
me?
Yeah, dude, I've watched you open a can the size. I was like, all right, I'm about to open a pint-sized can of whoop ass, and you're like, dude, I brought a gallon.
You know what's funny? I just sometimes I don't even realize what I'm doing. Like the last time I played the original, the remaster of Dark Souls, I took off all my shit so I could just sprint around, right? So I had no armor on, and I literally just had Artorias sword in my hand and my pyromancy glove, and that's it. Some dude invaded me. I was like, shit, I'm not ready for this. I got nothing on. I'm naked. What the fuck am I gonna do? I totally destroyed this guy, and I was just like, oh, what? Sorry, man. Sometimes I don't even realize I'm like, I thought I was so dead. I'm like, oh.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to let the beast tap.
But most of the time, I don't play much PvP in Dark Souls. I think you set up better for PvP than I do.
Well, no, because here's the funny. For those of you who don't know, which is everybody, I'll like an invader will come up and be like, all right, here we go, little happy dance. And like I'll square off against the invader. I'll kind of pull a half circle. You do the whole like swing to kind of judge distance. Play a little bit of mind game with the person, and then out of nowhere from off screen, I'll see Chris leap in with the club and fucking lay a dude out. And I'll just be like, whoa! Like it's usually Chris has he has the decency to like let me duel, but the second the guy like dodges to the side and hits Chris, the beast just comes out. Like, I'm not sure if it's I've done you the decency to not stand here and gang beat your ass while my friend tries to duel you, but if you're gonna throw a punch in my face, I'm gonna beat your dick into the dirt. Something snaps. The second they're like, this is a 2 versus 1, Chris is like, oh, I'm game.
Yeah. I usually sit down or something too. I'm like, I'm clearly not fighting here and then they just smack me. I'm like, all right.
They do. They just run over and smack Chris. I don't know why. Like, it's so clear. Like, no, I am your opponent. They run over and just like whack Chris. Chris like, all right, that's what we're gonna do. All right.
Oh man! All right, that was a fun question. So let us move.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you. Whoever Eurocar 9 is.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Good question, man. All right, this one is from You Should Know Me Too. What do you guys think about a Batman game with Bane as the main villain? Thing is, Bane would be like an Ari Nemesis style villain. Oh, okay, so just a dude that just keeps coming at you.
Oh, that would be sick.
That would be crazy.
Yeah, interesting. I was thinking more like Nightfall if you made it more like that.
Yeah.
But
Or perhaps you'd rather Superman.
This is no time for fear, Doctor. That comes later.
Thank you.
Shit, I don't know about him running around like so he's running around like Nemesis, like owning Batman. Are you running away from him or?
Yeah, would you be running away from him? Is that what you're doing the whole game?
I don't think Batman runs away from any motherfucker.
That's what I'm saying. He don't give a fuck. He's Batman.
Does that
Batman, motherfucker?
Does that follow canon though? Like, I hate to be a stickler about it, but didn't Bane play mental tricks and lure Batman rather than ever straight up hunt him down?
Yeah, he did. He still does that shit.
Well, and that's the thing. Is there a character in the Batman universe that actively hunts Batman? I'm trying to think. Because it's a lot of psychological thing. It's not Killer Croc. Maybe could be a good.
I was about to say that. Yeah.
He would be a good nemesis.
Brett, I'm glad you brought that up.
Brute.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because in one of the latest, Tom King's run on Batman's over, but in his run, the last third of it was literally Bane fucking with Batman, like psychologically. And the thing is, like, that's just the last third, but it's been set up since the beginning of his run. It was 82 issues altogether, but Bane was fucking with him, like, psychologically. And obviously, it ends in a big brawl and shit, but he was just fucking. Batman got so fucked up psychologically, he questioned even him being Batman. So imagine a game that did something like that,
Dude, that's why I love Bane. Like, am I
the only one?
Pull up my soapbox for a minute. Like, am I the only one that remembers that Bane is a supervillain because of his super intelligence, and that his whole Venom formula to beef himself up was an overcompensation for him being highly intellectual but being skinny and weak as fuck?
Chris doesn't forget, right, Chris? Nightfall, that's your favorite storyline, right?
It's one of my favorite stories of all time, man. Yeah, and Bane is a smart motherfucker. I mean, he manipulated all of the other A, B, and C list villains in that story to go after Batman. And he strategically placed them so Batman wore himself out to the point where he couldn't even fight this motherfucker, showed up in Wayne Manor and broke his back. Right? Just like nothing. Like, bam, that was it. It's over.
Is that, Chris, is that where he does it, or does he do it in other issues also?
No, that was the only time.
That was the only time. But yeah, that's the thing. Is like, imagine a game that did shit like that. Where you're fighting all these fucking villains or whatever, and then it turns out, it was Bane the whole time,
Well, I think Bane would make a great master villain, but not a Nemesis type character. I think Nemesis would be like Killer.
No,
just bust through a wall and try and fuck you up because stupid, or Clayface.
Yeah.
You know, you would need, if Batman were to like run away from a character, right? It would need to be like something supernatural, like Solomon Grundy chasing him, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, I'm not, you know, Batman doesn't shy from a fight, but maybe he'd be like, oh, okay, I can't fight him like this. I need to go get Constantine or something to help me.
Yeah,
you know?
you would need to set it up, you know, to give Batman a reason to run. Because even with Solomon Grundy, Batman doesn't fucking run, man.
Well, I know you already
whoa,
fucked him
whoa,
up
whoa.
in a game, yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Batman runs all the time.
No, away from somebody, like, oh, I can't
No,
fight.
no, not like fully away,
Yeah.
but like dodges and you'll like see him like run 100 feet that way.
Yeah,
to,
no,
like,
no,
gain
I'm
the
not
upper
talking
ground.
No,
about-
but
not-
he's fighting. He's
Yeah,
fighting.
no, but Brett.
Yeah, no,
okay, let me rephrase it because, you know, because we're confused. Batman doesn't run away from a fight. He doesn't do that. That's not Batman, you know?
Well, okay, I guess
he may get
I guess
away
you
from
have to
him.
run away from Nemesis. I was thinking
Yeah.
like he comes in, tries to fuck things up, you dodge him for a minute, and then he mysteriously disappears, and you don't know when he's coming.
Yeah, he'll do shit like that, but Batman would be like, oh shit, there's a big monster after me, I have to run. It's like, Batman's like, big monster, let's fucking go, you know?
Yeah.
Oh man, imagine
He's Batman, dude, you know?
You're playing the game and the lights turn off and it's like, I am the League of Shadows.
Oh, Batman.
Yo, that'd be fucking sick, man.
You could also do of course I forget his name. Lazarus Pit.
Oh, Ra's al Ghul.
Oh, Ra's al Ghul.
Ra's al Ghul. Ra's al Ghul would make a great villain because you could honestly just keep killing him and he just keeps coming back stronger.
And he'd be a great, like, boss fight because he's just as good as a martial artist as Batman, you know?
Mhm.
That'd be
You know,
insane.
he was the one who trained Batman,
Yeah,
wasn't he?
I think
Like
they
group.
retconned it. I think they retconned it. So yeah, I think that's the case now. Yeah.
You might have to expand Batman's world a little bit because I could think of a couple guys he'd run away from, but they're not in his rogues gallery. Like if Bizarro went after Batman.
Oh yeah, that Batman like, yo, I got a dip right now.
I got
you
a
know?
dip, like, you know, couldn't fight him.
Yeah, fucking Mesmer or some fucking
Or,
guy
or
like
fucking
that.
Darkseid
Yeah.
showed up and decided, I'm just gonna fucking.
But then
kill
again,
you."
Batman's such a badass. Or even in the cartoon,
He would
remember,
find a
like,
way.
He fought Darkseid. He didn't give a fuck. You know,
Yeah, in the comic he shot him with a fucking some kind of bullet. I was like, what the fuck? He shot him.
Could make a Red Sun game.
Oh yeah, that
Ooh.
Batman, that'd be crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, because that Batman's pretty much doesn't have the resources, and evil Superman after him.
Oh shit! I mean, the question was for Bane, but yeah, that'd be pretty nuts. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he with the OG gun. Oh shit! That's right, man. Yeah, Batman. I'm telling you, you can't have him like, oh, there's a monster. He's running out. I gotta run. It's like Batman doesn't do that shit, man.
I mean, I can tell you one in the Rogues Gallery that he should run from
Should
is the Bat Who Laughs.
Oh, the Batman who laughs. Oh
Ooh.
shit! Yeah, but even him, he didn't give
Like,
a fuck.
and that
Yeah.
you want to talk about an excellent villain for a video game, Batman Who Laughs, and do it in the Infamous style, so you don't know who he is or his origin story until they reveal at the end of the game.
That'd be insane.
I just made myself really want that game.
Got to make it happen, man.
But why would you want to do it the Infamous style?
Because you know who the Bat Who Laughs is, right?
No.
Batman who laughs.
Okay, spoiler. Everybody who doesn't want to hear this, stop listening for a minute.
No.
No, we don't want to say it.
Like, I think that's like one of the best twists there is. It's like
Okay,
the
okay,
whole time
I
just
can't-
thinking like who, and then I found out I'm like, oh damn, this is good now. This is all good now.
All right, so I'll read this tomorrow. Don't worry,
think
Brad. I'll read this tomorrow. We'll pick up the conversation some other day. I was just gonna make a joke out of it, to be honest. I just was gonna say, so why do you want this game to be derivative? But anyways, let's just move on.
Oh shit!
Trust me, it's not. You just read the story. We need to talk about one of my favorite comic runs, and it's going to be playing a big deal in the upcoming DC comics. It's super relevant. They're
Yeah,
expanding on it.
yeah. I mean, they already had a huge storyline involving him, but it's
That's already done?
Yeah, that's already done. Yeah, but
Okay.
there's more. There's still more. You know. Again, remember who this guy is. It's a little bit hard to take him out. You know.
Especially by Batman. I don't know. It's hard to say Batman could take him out.
Yeah, I'm going to say
because-
this at this point right now. They were victorious against him, but you know, this is the Batman who laughs. So there's going to be another one. There's a new series called black metal, I think it is, or death metal.
Instead of dark metal.
Yeah. So that's probably I guarantee you that's gonna have him in there. You know,
Is that the multiverse one?
yeah. I mean, that's another multiverse one. The current one that's out now is just metal, right? That's where he gets introduced. There was some other shit that happened. Batman, Who Laughs has been in a bunch of comics. He's been in a bunch of them now. You know,
Did they get rid of the other version?
Well, I know that they were doing the multiverse run where basically he breaches the multiverse.
Yeah, well, not to spoil so much, but that happened. But he's been in the main Earth for about a year and a half now.
Oh shit!
But does he still have like Red Death and all that stuff?
Yeah, and then the latest thing they had, and then the latest thing they had is Red Death. Yeah, the latest thing they had, Year of the Villain, where Brett, he did to other heroes what he did to himself. Jokerized. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. Shit! I'm so excited to read this comic book, and I'm so excited that I can say those.
Yeah. I think it's been collected. Actually, no, it hasn't been collected yet. But there's the guy's like a perennial thing. He's just in every comic now.
Damn, I was really hoping I could get a solid trade on.
No, not yet.
I'll do issues.
Yeah, and of course, in typical comic book style, it's tied into other events.
Yeah, sure.
Of course, well, dude. Honestly, DC has been killing its comic books lately.
Oh yeah. And by the way, I'm saying this as a lifelong Marvel guy. DC comics are so much better than Marvel now. It's not even close. Comics are trash now.
Is it still on the Rebirth stuff, or did they already move on?
They finished that Rebirth stuff like 2 years ago.
Damn, I'm old.
We have a Marvel conversation to have after the show. Sorry, guys.
Okay, yeah, Let's not go down the rabbit hole. But then the question was about comic books, so it's fair. All right. Now we're gonna answer some extra questions because we got to keep the show going. Again, like I said this before, because everybody's stuck at home and stuff. I kind of feel a little bit not I wouldn't say obligated, but I kind of want to give you guys a little bit extra content. If you guys are dealing with all this shit just like we all are. All right. So from Black Metal Gamer, if Microsoft actually invested in VR for their games, what Xbox games do you think would fit well with VR? He says, I think Hellblade or Forza games for sure. Yeah, I agree that the Forza games would be good for VR.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The Hellblade one too, for sure.
Yeah.
Ooh,
that's kind of tailor made for VR.
That'd be crazy.
That'd be a little bit intense.
Fun fact, it is available on VR on PC.
Excuse me?
Brian flexing.
That's it, bro.
I'm just stating the facts.
Yeah.
So
there you go. Check them out.
That's all you.
Yeah, right. Yeah. All right, so there you go. Yeah, I can't really think of anything like Gears of War, but I don't think that will work well because it's a third-person game. Halo, I guess, could work in VR.
Yes, I mean, the campaign definitely.
Yeah, I think that could work. Halo, that'd be cool.
You know what's gonna happen like day one.
Master Chief,
Cortana.
Oh, cool. Mm-hmm.
VR.
Oh, no.
You already
Some
know,
people
man.
just cannot keep the horny down.
Right? Be rubbing up on Cortana and shit. All right, there's not many Microsoft games. Just to be real. All right, moving on to.
Well, I think you need to make new games.
Yeah, do that. All right, Damien asks, what is the difference between a AA game and a AAA game?
What is the difference between a AA game and a AAA game?
The budget.
The budget, yeah.
Yeah, funding.
The budget's the main one. The scale is obviously another one, but it all comes down to funding.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like a game like Bleeding Edge is like a AA game. A game like Uncharted is a AAA game. A game like Gravity Rush 2 is a AA game. But a game like God of War is a AAA game. It's like you could tell. You could
tell. Hold
on, wait. There's something I've noticed as you're saying this. AAA games have reserved shelf space. They know that Ubisoft is coming out with a new game. Walmart is going to carry that new game. They set out space for it on their shelf, which shelf space is really valuable. And they know that they're going to sell it. Even a badly made AAA game has guaranteed shelf space, whereas a lot of the things that you're talking about, sometimes you find them in the store on a physical copy, sometimes not.
Yeah, that could be one of the things for sure. Because I like like things like Cuphead or even though like Cuphead is like one of the best games of this gen, it's really it's a really a double A game.
That's a
But
double
that
A game. Yeah.
and you won't see that on the shelves that much, as compared to like a Halo or Gears.
Yeah, or Assassin's Creed, or any of the shit like that.
Yeah, or Call of Duty and stuff like
Call
that.
of Duty. Goose says.
Yep.
Goose says. This is an interesting comment. Gravity Rush 2 is a double A game in a triple A wrapper. Let's be real. I don't agree with that.
Triple A wrapper. What? How does that?
No,
What is?
I don't agree with that. It looks
Gravity
like
Rush isn't a AAA game.
no, it's not. No, he says it looks like one. No, it doesn't.
Yeah, no, it doesn't.
It looks- it
No,
looks-
no,
it
he's
looks-
saying he's saying it's a double A game in a triple A wrapper. But I don't get. Could you expound on that? Because
Yeah,
I mean, that
'cause
sounds
like,
interesting. But
graphically, not. Here's the thing, and I hate this, and I'm saying this as a guy that loves stylized games, right? Stylized games generally don't look triple A. They don't, Triple A doesn't mean that much these days. That's what Isaac said. But that's a whole other discussion, He says the graphics are good, but stylized graphics don't jump out at people as triple A.
yeah,
Unfortunately, that's just how it is. Like the detail is just not there, And I know that's maybe shallow or whatever, but that's pretty much a barometer for AAA, like highly detailed graphics, almost photorealistic and shit, All right.
man,
Prince of Persia 2008 Borderlands says hello. Again, those games, I realize those games are AAA games. They don't look it. Let's just be real here.
But Borderlands is a triple A game.
It is. Those games are like the budget and shit. Yeah, those are AAA games. No one's questioning that. But graphically, at a glance, you're like, you wouldn't think that, because of the stylized stuff. And again, I'm saying this as a guy that loves. I prefer stylized shit over real shit, but that's just the way it is, man. Crisis is still a AAA game. That's true. That is true because that shit still looks good.
Even a game like Street Fighter 4, after it did that whole change in the style, that's still a triple A game.
Yeah. Now, Mortal Kombat, that looks like a triple A game visually,
Yeah, visually and
it actually is a triple A game. Yeah. Saw a video of the nuke going off in Crisis can still make a cop cry. Oh man.
Yo, by the way,
yeah,
this might be a really dumb question.
Oh,
are the Resident Evil remakes, the last two, are they AAA or AA games?
Here's the thing: they look triple fucking A, and I'm pretty sure they put money behind them.
Yeah, but I for some reason I still think they're more AA games because they're. I don't know. It's those are really weird.
I know what you're trying to get at, but I'm like, they have all the AAA markings, the graphics, the voice acting, the music, all this other shit.
I went all out.
The models and shit, like they went all out with that. And Final Fantasy VII Remake, that's super AAA. Apparently that's one of the most expensive games they've made. No surprise there. Like AAA games, you could tell. You could be like, yo, they put money into this shit. You could just tell.
Yeah,
the marketing budget, of course, that's another factor we can't forget. That's an important one.
Like fucking what's it called? Like Destiny.
Yeah,
that shit was fucking. What is it called? Marketed like it was a fucking quadruple A game.
Yeah. But the thing is, even with Destiny, say what you will about the game, like you look at it, it's like, yeah, they put money behind this shit. At a glance, like this shit looks expensive.
I'm gonna say it.
Uh-oh.
Mass Effect Andromeda is a AA game.
Oh man. Dookie, man. All right. Let us move on to the last question of the night. From the Reaction Gift King. This is an interesting one. All right. What is your opinion on stricter curation on the popular gaming storefronts? He's talking about Xbox Live, PSN, eShop, Steam, Epic Store, all that shit. Steam has so much trash that it becomes difficult for the good games to bubble up to the top. If you search for on both PSN and Xbox Live, you can see so many games on there that no one would have any idea about if they didn't know to search them. I'm a free market guy, and I wouldn't want to deny a developer a spot on any virtual storefront. But should platform holders be more selective? Good question. We've talked about how Steam is just flooded with so much bullshit that it's hard to sift through it, you know? And I've always said that if you want to play the really like best indie games, wait for them to come to Switch because they've already been vetted twice, you know, effectively. So should there be curation? I think it's like, on the one hand, I want to say yes, but at the other hand, it's like I want to let people put their games out there and let the market decide. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but it's funny because like there's got to be some, because like how did Life of Black Tiger happen? Like how did Sony promoted that game?
Yeah, the game originally came out.
They put it on the PlayStation channel on YouTube.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, let me watch this trailer. I'm like, this is trash.
Trash.
I'm like,
I thought it was a joke
how
at
did you
first.
do this? Yeah.
I was like, this isn't a real game. This is like April Fool's joke, right? Come on, like this is not real.
It's probably the worst game ever made.
And
Probably worse than Superman 64, man.
Oh,
no,
damn.
there are much worse games than that on Steam. Way worse games than that on Steam. Trust me.
Yeah, Brian. What
But
are some examples of some of the trash games you've seen?
Oh, just follow Jim Sterling. He has like the series where like he just delves on Steam and looks at like the most trash games he finds, and they're not even games. They're just crap. Like I don't even know how they even exist. They're just terrible. But to answer the question, I'd say yes. There needs to be some level of curation, but not based on anything else apart from the quality of the game. So games that don't crash or games that like they must meet some level of quality in the sense of they must run well and they must follow some legal guidelines in the sense of hey, you didn't just take another person's game and put it on as your game. That's not allowed. Like have some basis of like okay, here are the things that games must be. Must run, must have enough content to like warrant the purchase. They must not break. Again, just some baseline standards. Because right now on Steam, it's way too far and few between, and it's not good.
I agree with Brian, and I'll just add like they also should, and I don't know, they might already do this, but it's like whole ethics thing. Like I don't want to play, like I don't want my, like if I have a kid to get on Steam and just freely be able to purchase a sex game or something like that kind of stuff. I don't even know if they have those on Steam. Brian, you might know. But yeah.
In regards to that, Steam has any game that's rated 18 or over. Well, okay, at least here in the UK, since I don't know Steam in the US. If any game is rated 18 or over, then it's behind a like one of those gates where you like enter in your birthday, and the pictures won't show if it's on the storefront. So hence, it's just like, hey, there's a game here. We can't tell you what it is, but you can go through and find out.
Yo, that's like the equivalent of when you went to the video store. You go to like the place, behind the back with the curtains. You know what they had back there, you know?
Yeah.
Breeders of the Nephilim is nothing but trying to clap cheeks. Damn, man. Brett, what's your take on this? Because we've talked about this before, the deluge of trash on Steam.
I mean, yeah.
Get in range, brother.
Dude, I'm like 6 feet.
What the fuck?
It's full.
Yeah.
Actually, hold on. I'll show you guys one.
He's clearly social distancing from the...
I believe you, Brett. It's just your thing's acting up. It always gets like that during the end of the show, which is weird. Hey, you're on camera.
I'm full of boxes and shit.
Hey.
So I'm sorry, I just lost my train of thought. Question again.
Curated games on Steam. Yay.
Yeah, definitely necessary. Steam is full of the most games. Beyond that, Brian's correct. Like, it is full of games so bad, they're not games. They're just scams. Like they're just hollow things that look like a game, take people's money, and then 5 years later never have released. Like I own several of these games, and I don't understand like how like you can give somebody so much money and they never give you a product, because this isn't Kickstarter, this is fucking Steam. And when you get to the point where somebody pays for a product, they never get it, and you have taken your part of the money from that product, you've taken your share of the profit, and they go, yeah, I don't care. That objectively crosses a line. You can say a game's bad, you can say a game's good. That's, I guess to a certain extent subjective. I don't really think so, but people argue that with me. But when you get to the point where like, hey, they never finished it and they stole my money, you can't be like, well, that's fine because no, I don't have any good reason. There's no good reason. It should be inexcusable. And yet it happens fairly regularly. And Steam has a policy where if you've played for more than 2 hours, you can't refund it. So if you buy a game and if you buy any sort of alpha or pre-release or anything like that, and you play more than 2 hours, if you try it for more than 2 hours knowing it's not a finished product, you can never get your money back despite them never finishing the game. It's a fucked up system that leaves consumers, falling through the cracks, and I think it's bullshit.
Yep. Chris, what do you think about these games?
There needs to be some sort of curation. I think Brett's right. Like there is scams for sure on Steam, and plus there's no like quality assurance. Like I've watched some people online play Brian mentioned Jim Sterling, but I've seen a couple other guys play these absolutely fucking broken games. Like they'll shoot a guy in a shooter and he'll just freeze in place or do a T pose or something. Like this, you had to pay money for this,
Man.
So this got to be something. It's like the Wild West in there, and unless you sit down and read reviews or go on YouTube or something and see like, okay, what is this like? Some people just go, oh, okay, this is on sale. They're in a sale. I'll buy. This looks interesting. You can't do that. You can't do that on Steam. There's no way. Unless they did something. And like I said, Sony, what Black Tiger, man? What? I can't get over it. I couldn't believe it when I saw it. Just you can't be like, you could put it on PSN. Why are you promoting that shit?
Yeah, thank you, Pyri UK or Pyrook. He goes, what are your views on religion? Oh, gaming news. I'll leave. Have a good stream.
Hey man, we'll have an AMA show one time.
Oh God, no! I don't know if I want to answer that fucking question. No. Get us in trouble.
That's a trap.
That's a trap.
That's a trap. Again, like I agree with you guys. There should be curation, but at the same time, there's that part of me. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Because again, I'm a free market guy, but at the same time, it's like, I wouldn't be against some kind of standards. Like, somebody's play testing games. Like, yo, this shit's broken. You ain't putting that in our store. Like the Steam seal of approval or some shit. But at the same time, it's like, what if you do want to put out some janky, broken piece of shit? Maybe people like that. Look at Goat Simulator. That's the whole reason people
Fallout
like
76.
Oh shit!
Yo. Oh,
sorry,
dude.
I just someone threw me a fastball. I saw it coming and I just swung at it.
Oh my God!
I know it's low hanging fruit, but
I'll let it slide.
Oh man. I can't follow that up, man. I think we're done. Oh man, Sketch says he was holding that in. He wanted to say it too. He said, "Climb out of his head, Carlos." Oh man. All right, yo, we're done here, man. Oh shit, I keep forgetting to do this. By the way, just for you guys that are here. Manny, we know what's going on with him and stuff. His mother passed away and all that. And he currently has a GoFundMe, where he's trying to raise money and stuff. So if you guys could, donate, if you haven't already, that'd be greatly appreciated. So I'm going to link that right here in the chat. And I want you guys, just like with Throwdown, spread the word to everybody, man. It'd be greatly appreciated, especially, Manny's an artist, and during this time, not a lot of money going on and shit. So whatever you could send the brother, feel free to. So here's the link, and there you go, man. All right, that was a good show, a lot of fun. So let us wrap this up. So thank you for watching and listening. Leave us your questions in the Throwdown Discord server, and we'll answer them on next week's show. Subscribe to Throwdown on SoundCloud, iTunes, and YouTube. Follow us on Twitch, Twitter, and Facebook at Throwdown Show. Links are located in the description below. Once again, our show is Tony Polanco, and tonight joined by Chris Seeley.
Hey, take care, everyone.
Carlos Romero.
You think darkness is your ally, but you merely adapt to the dark. I was born in it, molded by it. I did not see the light until I was already a man. But it was nothing to me but
Oh, man. Brett Murdoch.
There's no. Yeah.
Oh, man. And Brian Manjoma.
Carlos, it's late.
for you.
Oh, no, brother. All right, man. We'll see you on Thursday, man. Peace out.
Deuces.
Peace.